the blackout, you found no doubt. Clean your kitchen, girl, take that trash out.
We having black tea, so won't you come and take a sip? We serving black tea, but be careful not to slip. Black tea, taste the drama real good. Do you want some black tea? In the whitey neighborhood, truth is moving on the streets, but it's caught between them lies. Who be grifting, who cheats, who be sending round them spies.
Every time, like the inauguration here, I think you're doing amazing work.
Thank you very much.
We actually were just with
Leopold. Yeah,
Sorry,
he's
how
in
about-
Venezuela,
Right.
and you're applying a lot of pressure to Maduro, and I think that's phenomenal for an American president to actually be applying pressure there, in Venezuela, and then hopefully in Cuba and so forth. So there's a lot of civil rights work that you're leading. We didn't get a chance to mention. I also just wanted to mention, we don't have to get into all the details we talked about in the Oval Office, but I think it's a real incredible inflection point right now in AI, and the fact that your administration is supporting our companies instead of fighting with them. It's hugely important. Obviously, it's a global race, and I think we're at the cusp where these AI models are about to become profoundly useful, kind of beyond the, okay, wow, it's cool, can do that, but actually day-to-day incredible utility, incredible productivity. So very grateful
We're
for your
AI
administration support.
Well, you had a very good day yesterday. Google had a very good day yesterday. And you want to talk about that big day you had yesterday?
I'm glad it's over.
Everybody's just,
Biden was the
this
one
is
that
just
prosecuted that
big
lawsuit.
ego strokes, man. It's just major big ego strokes. You stroke my ego, I'ma stroke your ego. Hey, don't forget to stroke my ego. Hey, stroke me now.
I echo what Sergey said. I think the AI moment is one of the most transformative moments any of us have ever seen or will see in our lifetimes. So making sure the US is at the forefront, and I think your administration is investing a lot. Already the AI action plan under your leadership, I think, is a great start, and we look forward to working together, and thanks for your leadership.
Great job you're doing. Incredible, really job. Lisa, how about you?
Well, Mr. President, it's such an honor to be here, and the incredible work that your administration has done to support the semiconductor industry. You know, we're building the brains behind all of the wonderful AI that's being built here, and I think the amount of acceleration that we've seen just in the few short months that the administration has been in place is really, we're so grateful for that support. And we had a wonderful event this afternoon with the First Lady's support of the AI education plan. So I think the main message is we are all in to make sure that America wins the AI race, and it's an honor to be here.
Thank you very much. Great job you're doing too. Amazing what you've done in a short period of time. Really amazing.
Everybody's doing amazing.
Microsoft that has done a pretty
What's
good
going on
job,
with you,
too.
Peter?
I'll tell you what, I had that stock, it was 28.
Bill Gates is a
And now it's
demon.
about 500 and something. I don't know. It's what a job you've done. Would you say a few words about your company?
Absolutely, Mr. President. Thank you so much, obviously, for bringing us all together and the policies that you have put in place for the United States to lead And one of the things that I think has made this industry unique is not only the innovation, but it's the market access that you have obviously championed for us all over the world, and also the trust the world has on American technology. I think that everything that you're doing in terms of setting in place the platform where the rest of the world can not only use our technology but trust our technology more than any other alternative is perhaps the most important issue. And you and your policies are really helping a lot. So thank you very much. And also I wanted to thank Madam First Lady for hosting what I think is perhaps the most defining issue, which is about skilling and economic opportunity that comes with AI. And so I deeply appreciate your leadership there as well. Thank you.
Really, and a really amazing job.
Yeah, there's nothing for me to sign on
Bill,
here,
would you like to
so.
say a few words?
It's just all questions about your school. You enter your name right here. You put your preferred name right
second
here.
phase of my career,
You put
giving
your last name right
Whale
here.
the
You put
wonderful
your
money
birthday right here.
that it's not just good work, it's
This is your information.
help
The only thing I might have to put is
multiply
the
a
address.
lot. But I think the thing that ties my first career that I still spend some time on because AI is so phenomenal, and my second career is innovation, innovating in health in areas like vaccines or gene editing, and the president and I are talking about taking American innovation to the next level to cure and even eradicate some of these diseases. He mentioned polio, which is one that we're close. We don't need new science on that one. For some like HIV and sickle cell, we do need new science, but the U.S. Has the seeds that in the same way that Warp Speed took those seeds and put them together, I think something fantastic can be done. AI for our foundation is that we want a doctor for everyone in Africa through AI. We want farmers to have incredible advice.
And you see what's going on. You see who at the table. Technology. Technology is at the table. That's what we're looking at.
We all get together and talk about
This is technology at the table.
lead in this key area and apply it even to the poorest outside the U.S. as well as to our great citizens. So thank you for incredible leadership, including getting this group together.
Thank you, Bill. That's very nice. Tim Cook, you've done an incredible job with Apple, little company called Apple.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Very few people have been able to do what you've done. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. That means a lot to me. I want to thank you for including me this evening. It's incredible to be among everyone here.
He ain't even calling them by their names. He calling them by their companies. Listen to what I'm saying. He's not even calling them by their names. He calling them by their companies. He's like, Google, you got something to say, Google? Apple, what about you, Apple? Let me hear what you got to say, Apple. Like, what the he's not even calling them by their names. He's like, Google, go ahead and talk, Google. Apple, what do you have to say, Apple? What about you? Like this, listen.
I want to thank you for setting the tone such that we could make a major investment in the United States and have some key manufacturing, advanced manufacturing here. I think that says a lot about your focus and your leadership and your focus on innovation. I also want to thank you for helping American companies around the world. This is a very key thing, and I.
No, he did call that other guy. He said Google. That guy named not Google.
Those topics as well, because I think they're so important to the country. I want to thank the First Lady for focusing on education. There's nothing more important than education. It is the great equalizer, and always will be. And so thank you so much for including me. We are all different in some ways, but we all believe in the power of technology to improve people's lives, and that is the thing that binds us all.
He called the other guy Google, dumb shit.
Tim, how much money will Apple be investing in the United States? Because I know it's a very lot, and it's, you were elsewhere, and now you're really coming home in a big way. How much money will you be investing?
$600 billion.
$600 billion. It's a lot of jobs.
We're very proud to do it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
sir.
Sam, you're a big leader.
600
of a very
billion.
young industry at a very young age. You're a young guy. Do you want to tell us about what you're doing? You told me things before that are absolutely unbelievable. So what are you doing?
First of all, to echo the comments of Tim and others, thank you so much for getting us all together, and thank you for being such a pro-business, pro-innovation president. It's a very refreshing change. We're very excited to see what you're doing to make all of our companies and our entire country so successful. The investment that's happening here, the ability to get the power in the industry back in the United States, I think this will set us up for a long period of great success leading the world, and I don't think that would be happening now without your leadership. We're very grateful to be able to build our company here, to build data centers here, to build the entire AI
Love and light, love and light.
in the United States.
Oh, yeah,
Many
yeah.
of the comments, I think this will transform the world in a profound way, and I think it really will be the United States' advantage to be able to lead the world this way. The event that the First Lady hosted today about education was really wonderful, and watching what AI is doing.
Y'all gotta calm down with the deleting message. If they see y'all deleting all the messages, people are gonna stop commenting in the comment section.
We will invest a ton in the
I mean,
United
if
States.
it's too vulgar, then go ahead and delete it. But y'all gotta calm down. I just see a bunch of delete messages.
And it's going to be well worth it. And you have an unlimited market, right?
Seems like it.
Come to think of it, how much is Google investing?
We are right now $100 billion. In the next 2 years, it's $250 billion.
That's great. Great. We're proud of you. Very good. Thank you.
How much is Apple investing? How much is Google investing?
What about Microsoft?
How much Microsoft investing? Look,
Each year, we're close to, in the United States,
it's money.
around $75-80 billion.
75, 80,
Thank you very much.
60 billion or
Would
600
anybody like to say
billion.
anything? You have a lot of
Apple,
geniuses
Google,
in the room.
Microsoft, technology
Not
race.
so young. Mostly young, come to think of it. Yes, please.
No, I mean delete the messages y'all need to delete. But I'm saying, like, if people see too much, they're gonna. We just started the live. We just started the live. We're only 12 minutes in.
History. I mean, we're talking 10x the size of the Apollo program. I
That's-
think also, to me, the most important thing is what AI will do for all of us. And I think that there's been a choice of whether to approach it with optimism, and I think that that's what I've really seen from this administration. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Great job you're doing. Incredible job you're doing. I know every inch that you're building, and I can't believe it. The biggest buildings ever. You know, we talked about 100-story buildings. These buildings blow them away, right? So I just want to. They're more lateral than they are up and down, but they blow everything away. So congratulations. Would anybody like to say anything, please? Satya?
It's all money. It's money, 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 money.
Would you like to go, Safra?
This is
Yeah, it's
the
all
most
data.
incredible time.
They all want data.
AI is going to change
The
everything.
internet is
You're
changing
all
everything.
saying
If
that.
you're a part of the
But
internet,
fact
it's
that
going
you
to
are our president
push you.
And you recognize
it's
this
all
right away, and you've unleashed
Digital currency,
American innovation,
data information.
creativity.
This is the
All
age
the
for
work
it.
You're doing in basically every cabinet.
Money
post,
don't run the
in
world no
addition
more.
to what's
Data
coming
runs
from
the
White
world
House,
now.
is making it possible.
Internet transfers,
for America
transactions.
to win. Today's event that was spearheaded by our wonderful First Lady.
You see who we got at the table?
Education
Microsoft,
is the
Apple,
center
Google.
of where we need to go, because it is all of these young people who can't be afraid of new technologies. They literally have to embrace it and make America even stronger.
See?
And
This is
that
what I've been
focus
saying the
is
whole
very,
time.
very critical. And
Our
I think
youth
this
is
the
on
most
the
exciting
internet. Our
time in
youth is,
America
social media. So this is where it's going. This is the direction of everything.
Thank you
Pay
for everything
attention.
you're doing.
Y'all don't want to
Thank you
listen
very
to
much. I
me.
appreciate saying hello to everybody, Larry. And
What they
everybody
gonna
else.
say when they say it in the
Amazing
Congress?
company that you.
When they say it here?
involved with and
What y'all say now?
I just want to thank
Huh?
everybody for being here.
I'm sorry,
I
I'm-
like the
I'm-
meeting.
I'm- I'm
It
sorry,
was
I'm gonna let y'all
nice
listen.
meeting, although, I'm still here. So,
Y'all gotta get the likes up. If y'all don't want me to talk, y'all gotta get the likes up. I'm gonna let it play for a while, okay?
They made a couple of bad predictions. That was not good. I've never had that feeling before. I went to an event and people are coming up to me and saying, "You're still here." I said, "What do they mean by that? I didn't hear about this." But anyway, I do. The press has been great in terms of this industry. they understand the importance of it. This is taking our country to a new level. We're leading the world. We're leading China, but we're leading the world by a lot. And we're leading it because of the people around the table. And all I can do is implement and make it a lot easier for you. And I'll be doing that 100%. So I just want to thank you all. Yes, did you have a question? Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tomorrow we have a jobs report coming out, the first since the BLS commissioner who you fired won't be there. A lot of people will be turning to you to see if you believe the data that's released. Can you commit to saying the data will be credible?
The number, I don't know, they come out tomorrow, but the real numbers that I'm talking about are going to be whatever it is, but will be in a year from now when these monstrous, huge, beautiful places, they're palaces of genius, and when they start opening up, you're seeing, I think you'll see job numbers that are going to be absolutely incredible. Right now it's a lot of construction numbers, but you're going to see job numbers like our country has never seen before. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have two questions for you. First, after your phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky today, do you plan to speak with Russia's President Putin in the near future?
What? I will be, yeah, I will be. We're having a very good dialogue. I settled 7 wars. The one that I thought would be maybe one of the easiest, you know that feeling? You think one thing is going to be easier, it turns out to be a little bit tougher. But the one that I thought would be an easier one because of my relationship with President Putin and with Ukraine and everything else, I thought it would be the Russia-Ukraine disaster where this week 7,014 people were killed, soldiers, in most cases soldiers, a few from Kiev, relatively few, but mostly soldiers, and they're being killed at levels that we haven't seen since World War II. And they're not American, they're not from any of the countries that some of you are from, but they're people, they're souls, and we'll get it done. But that's turned out to be the most difficult of the group. You know, I settled 3 wars. One was 31 years going. A lot of people killed, 10 million people. Another was 34, and another was 37 years it was going on. And people said, you can't settle them, and I settled them. This one turned out to be more difficult, but we'll get it. We're going to get it settled.
Mr. President, the Senator's bill passed, he said, effectively we're denying people vaccines. Do you have full confidence in what RFK Jr. is doing?
Well, I didn't get to watch the hearings today, but he's a very good person. And he means very well, and he's got some little different ideas. I guarantee a lot of the people at this table like RFK Jr., and I do. But he's got a different take, and we want to listen to all of those takes. But I heard he did very well today. But it's not your standard. It's not your standard talk, I would say, and that has to do with medical and vaccines. But if you look at what's going on in the world with health, and look at this country also with regard to health, I like the fact that he's different. Okay?
Thinking of semiconductor tariffs, sir, which you're considering imposing, and have you discussed that with any of the leaders?
Yeah, I have. I've discussed it with the people here, chips and semiconductors, and we'll be putting tariffs on companies that aren't coming in. We'll be putting a tariff very shortly. You probably are hearing we'll be putting a fairly substantial tariff on, not that high, but fairly substantial tariff, with the understanding that if they come into the country, if they're coming in, building, planning to come in, there will not be a tariff.
So
if they're not coming in, there's a tariff, fairly substantial tariff.
Damn, either you build here or you get tariffs.
Here, and for the most part, I think they're building here. That's probably why they're here for the. But like I would say, Tim Cook would be in pretty good shape. No, please, the back.
Are you urging or encouraging any candidates in the New York City mayor's race to drop out to clear the field?
No, I don't like to see a communist become mayor, I will tell you that. And I don't think you can win unless you have one-on-one, because somehow he's gotten a little bit of a lead. I have no idea how that happened, but I'd prefer not to have a communist mayor of New York City. And, you know, that's what he is based on his policy, if you look at his statements in the past. So I would...
yes, but who's going to buy it? I refuse to pay $35,000
have it be one-on-one.
for a
And I think that's a race that could be
Yep,
won.
more lies. Hey, keep the comments coming. Keep the comments coming.
The UK in a few weeks. Yesterday, Nigel Farage was on Capitol Hill. He really
Right.
was talking a lot about pushing back on censorship online. He was asking politicians like yourself, some of the people in this room, to really push back on that. How concerning is that to you? And Mr. Zuckerberg, if you don't mind answering, how concerning is that to you, the lack of freedom of speech online in the UK?
He didn't think he'd get that question. He's looking at me saying, how the hell? He's saying, how did I get that question? If you'd like to answer, free speech.
If you like to answer, free speech.
Seems to be a crackdown. The British government seems to be.
Hey, let's get those likes up. We got to get those likes up, guys.
Arrested for tweets, social
Yeah,
posts.
bro, I bought
Just wondering
my
how concerning that
47
is to you, Mr.
Super for
President,
like
Mr. Zuckerberg.
900. It's about 1,300. Oh shit, is it? That's good. Price going up.
In terms of
How did you lose a
UK
house in
strange
3
things
years?
happen,
Did you lose
they
your
are
job?
cracking
Is
down,
it 2019
surprisingly
when the
so, and
trucking
I've spoken to the Prime
bloodbath
Minister,
took place?
and let's see what happens. But it is a little bit different situation. I'm very surprised to see what's happening in. Are you talking about the UK in particular, right? Yeah, I'm very surprised to see what's happening. Sad. It's not a good thing. Yeah, please.
Intelligence requires support. Trump is
First in artificial intelligence, but what are your concerns in the alliance of axis of evil, China, Russia, and North Korea towards artificial intelligence, but also
and for the people at that table
Well, I
should
have
be
no
in prison.
concerns. We have the
think
most
so?
brilliant people at this table, and nobody's close. And I spoke to world leaders, and they admit privately, but they admit the biggest. They admit we have the smartest people, we have the greatest technology. They can copy, but they can't create like we can create. We have the smartest people in the world right at this table. So thank you for the question. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much.
What's your reaction on
Thank you.
changing its vaccine to
I'll comment on that later. Thank you very much.
Yeah, almost 70% of the working class is living paycheck to paycheck. Middle class America, paycheck to paycheck. So yeah, it is. Nobody's eating at this dinner. That's, it's supposed to be a dinner party. Nobody's eating. Then again, I guess you don't eat at politics tables because, might be poison. Well, that network is having technical difficulties. We're having technical difficulties.
We just, over the last few minutes, literally shot out a.
All right, I do want to take you out to a live image.
Wait, how much money will you be investing?
600 billion.
600 billion. All right, it's a lot of jobs.
We're very proud to do it.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Sir.
Apple is investing 600 billion. 600. Microsoft only said, 60. Apple said 600.
Thank you very much. And Sergey, you were saying a lot in the Oval Office.
Thank you for setting the tone such that
This will transform the world in a profound way, and I think it really will be.
You have a lot of geniuses on my right. Some young, some not so young. Mostly young, come to think of it. Yes, please.
I just wanted to echo everyone's comments. I think we've been just very impressed with how this administration has really embraced AI. I think that in addition to the infrastructure, most massive infrastructure built in history, we're talking 10x the size of the Apollo program. I think also, to me, the most important thing is what AI will do for all of us. And I think that there's been a choice of whether to approach with optimism, and I think that's what I really...
Can Donald Trump run as vice president? Can Donald Trump, after his election, can he be the vice president after his terms? Or is it over with after that? Where's the longer version of the conversation at? This is 15 minutes of it.
The day-to-day incredible utility, incredible productivity. So very grateful for your administration support.
Well, you had a very good day yesterday. Google had a very good day yesterday, and you want to talk about that big day you had yesterday? Don't forget, Biden was the one that prosecuted that.
He can run for vice president, right?
Look, it's a lot.
Okay, yeah. So that's the trick then.
You know, your administration had a constructive
That's the trick
dialogue and
for him to be the vice president next.
some resolution. I would echo what Sergey said. I think it's the AI moment is one of the most transformative moments.
That's why he's still worried about
we'll see in our lifetimes.
ballots
So making sure
and
the US is at the
votes.
forefront, and I think your administration is investing a lot. Already the AI action plan under your leadership, I think, is a great start, and we look forward to working together, and thanks for your leadership.
Great job you're doing. Incredible, really job. Lisa, how about you?
Well, Mr. President, it's such an honor to be here, and the incredible work that your administration has done to support the semiconductor industry.
China
We're
not
building
happy.
the brains behind all of the wonderful AI that's being built here. And I think the amount of acceleration
I mean,
that
I
we've
caught
seen
a-
just in the few short months that the administration has been in place is really, we're so grateful for that support. And we had a
Did
wonderful
anybody catch that live mic of Putin talking about using children's organs to, change life expectations from 70 years to 150? See, Melania Trump is pushing this AI technology
that AI
thing.
innovation is clearly boosting America's GDP growth. Surely this is not a trend, for AI will serve as the underpinning of every business sector in our nation, including education, life sciences, finance, and design. In fact, I predict AI will represent the single largest growth category in our nation during this administration. And I won't be surprised if AI becomes known as the greatest engine of progress in the history of the United States of America. But as leaders and parents, we must manage AI's growth responsibly. During this primitive stage, it is our duty to treat AI as we would our own children. Empower
Treat
them
AI like your own children. You hear that? That means let them run away and get snatched up.
is filled with the brightest minds of our time. As such, I challenge you to focus on 3 strategic priorities of AI's ecosystem so America can lead in shaping a new, magnificent world. Infrastructure and energy, national security, and of course, talent.
AI
We
talent.
must ensure America's talent, our workforce.
Yo, listen, I'm identifying as AI.
AI's progress.
I'm AI now.
And
I'm
the
identifying as
presidential
AI.
challenge is
What
our
y'all
first
think? Who's
major
with me?
step to galvanize
One's in the
America's
chat.
parents
If we want to get out in front of this, we got to identify as AI.
with this mission. English is a new coding language for many, and with it, creativity will flow from every corner of America, sparking new industries, careers, and jobs. By supporting the presidential AI challenge, you are investing in our youth.
Yeah, be kind to AI. Shit. They fuck around and be our next leaders. We might have an AI president in 2032. So I'm just gonna be nice to AI right now. Go ahead and identify as AI right now. And then, in the future, AI my
Thank you,
friend.
Madam First Lady, for your remarks and for hosting this second meeting of the White House Task Force on AI education. And thank you to all of my colleagues on the task
AI
force here, including
education.
Secretary McMahon, Secretary Rutland, Secretary Chavez,
I don't think y'all.
Secretary Wright,
I don't think
and,
y'all
White
listening.
House AI Crypto Czar. David Sachs. We are thrilled.
Y'all better get them likes up.
Today, Assistant to the President for the Office of the First
Shit.
Lady, Amy Harris, thank you for joining us. It is an honor to
My
have
fault.
the support and advice of the First Lady as we
Hey,
seek to
listen.
implement the President's plan.
At this point, everybody might as well, roll something up and smoke it, because what the fuck is goings on? Huh? What is goings on? Y'all get double tap the screen, get that like button, find that like button on your screen. It might be 3 arrows at the top of the screen or 3 dots at the top of the screen for you to get that like button. And share the live or copy the link. Share it with your Discord if you got a Discord. Share it with your Patreon if you got a Patreon. Share it with your Facebook if you got a Facebook. Share the live with somebody. I promise you, this needs to be talked about. And let me see some more activity in the comment section. I got ADHD. I need the comment section to move fast because I read fast. Well, I don't really read fast, but I perceive fast. So if you just type shit, then I'll perceive it fast and it will look like I read it.
And to give America's children the chance to learn.
AI will
how to
control
navigate our
one world
ever-changing
government,
technological
just
world.
like Metal Gear Solid
As AI
5.
reshapes
Damn,
our
we going into
world,
video
work,
games,
and communicate,
PlayStation.
President Trump is committed to ensuring that Americans are equipped to lead the world in harnessing this technology for increased productivity and prosperity. To further that end, in April, the President signed an executive order focusing on the formation and promotion of AI educational and workforce development programs, especially for America's young people. Familiarity with how these exciting new tools work will, we hope, lay a very important foundation for a lifetime of innovation. That is why President Trump established this White House task force on AI education, and that is why this task force has helped put together the Presidential AI Challenge, which the First Lady launched just last week. For that, thank you so much, Mrs. Trump. We are here today to talk about our future in the most real sense imaginable. How America's children can be prepared to build our country tomorrow with the cutting-edge tools of today. We are proud and grateful to announce new steps in fulfilling the mission of this task force and the President's vision for this AI challenge, as we welcome leaders from business, nonprofit, and education who are putting America's future first by pledging their resources to support AI training for American students, educators, workers, and families. So all of you here who are participating in the pledge, thank you for your generous pledges. The many contributors here today are committed to providing not only vital hardware, infrastructure, and education technology for students, but professional development opportunities for workers, for teachers, and for parents. Resources being made available include interactive lessons, educational toolkits, classroom guides, certifications, courses, workshops, webinars, and so much more.
Technology,
We are also
technology,
honored to be
technology.
joined by representatives of parent groups who we trust will continue to provide invaluable advice. We are humbled by the responsibility you share with us in educating America's children, and very proud to seek your input and participation in every part of this effort. And as a new father of an 8-week-old, this means more to me than probably anything else we're talking about today. No one loves this nation's children and students like you do as their parents, who are each child's first teachers. Americans of all ages.
He got 2 damn
look
dots
forward
on
to
his head
celebrating
like he got
250
horns growing.
years of U.S. independence next year.
You guys see
And
the 2
remembering
dots on
our
his
even
head?
longer national story of pilgrims, patriots, pioneers, conquering new frontiers, and building a future for their posterity. Today, we
Y'all
are
see them
grateful
2 dots
for
on
this
his head?
opportunity to invest in our children's future in turn, and to give this generation
He got his horn. He's waiting for his horns to come in.
the tools they need to master the frontiers of AI. Thank you all. And now, Secretary McMahon, would you like to say a few words?
Well, thank you very much, and what an honor it is to share the dais today with our First Lady and my former cabinet.
Yeah, but
members and
if we
colleagues
put
here
everything
today.
into AI,
I think
she
AI
said
is
treat
certainly
AI
one of
like
those
your children.
technologies that we
So
must
therefore,
embrace.
they're scrapping the real children, and now we're supposed to nurture AI. We're supposed to teach AI like we would our children.
Department of Education. I think we We're looking at our work in 3 AI areas. We are supporting current grantees. We are prioritizing future investments, and we're integrating AI in our own workforce at the department. So I am certainly, and maybe a little to the table later than some as an adapter, but clearly I certainly am now an adapter in utilizing some forms of AI, which I'm finding so incredibly helpful. And I bet that Barron is helping you with a little bit of this as well, and maybe charging you a little bit with that. I would think so. In supporting
Yeah,
our
definitely
current
charging you.
grantees, we've issued a Dear Colleague letter telling anyone who has received an ED grant that AI tools and technologies are allowable use of federal education funds.
How do we do that? How do we get that? How do we get this AI grant? I want to become an AI teacher.
Works best for their communities.
How do we get this grant?
Next week, actually going to go to the Alpha School in Austin, Texas, to see AI in action in the schools.
Let's start an AI school. We can do it right online. It's easy. We get the grant and we just create the school online. It's AI.
I made AI one of my priorities as secretary. This explicitly encourages the integration of AI in teaching, learning, and school operations. Any grant applications that come into the department that utilize AI will be more strongly considered, for their grants. Might
See?
get some bonus points for that.
If we use AI, we can get a grant.
We're exploring ways to
All we have to
utilize
do is
AI
say
in
that we're implementing Chat GTP in our music. We're implementing Chat GTP in our. Hold on. Atlas Network. This works for us because now we can get the grants that we need because look, we're using AI to help us graph different variations of cartoons for the one page, right? We're using AI to help us produce music for the Atlas Family Music Production, right? And we're using AI right now when it comes to TikTok and utilizing and helping people learn, with social media management. So with our social media management, LLC, we should be able to get a grant from the federals based off of what she's saying. We should be able to get a grant because we are using, technology, social media, so on and so forth. So this is right up our alley. Come on, lock in. Lock in with me.
Ed is fully aligned with the Presidential AI Challenge and is encouraging
Let's take the AI
students and
challenge.
educators to explore AI technologies with curiosity and with creativity. It's not one of those things to be afraid of. Let's embrace it. Let's develop AI-based solutions to real-world problems.
AI
and
challenge
cultivate an
background.
AI-informed, future-ready workforce. Ed strongly supports the Pledge to America's Youth. We are thankful to the folks in the room today and many others who have made commitments to expand AI access and understanding across schools. Very important across all over the country. And as I am touring and visiting schools of all kinds of different schools around the country, I will be looking to see how AI is being utilized and totally impressed by what I'm seeing. We are helping schools prepare every school, every child, every student for the AI-driven world.
Thank you, Secretary Rollins.
Well, first of all,
They know
turn the microphone on.
they know the aliens coming.
First of all, I just want to say thank you all.
They know the aliens
What a
coming.
joy to be up here with.
They rather turn us over to AI than let
Texas,
these
who are
aliens come
just
back.
A visionary, and I think back to the first term when we were able to work together. It's just incredible to see.
Wait till we do this special on 3i Atlas.
And cast a vision supported by so many incredible people here, and I know your team. But it's just a joy to see this incredible. Perhaps one of the most important issues, if not the most, that we have to address and embrace and build as a culture, as a society, as America, is just so great. And
Dang, why y'all stop the activity in the comment section? Come on, people.
it goes
Where
without
y'all coming
saying
in
that we're
from?
strong
What city? What
and
state?
steady
What country?
leadership in whatever you put your
Y'all the ones that gotta build this space.
is
If y'all keep the activity going, the numbers will keep coming in here. If y'all slow down, the numbers are gonna slow down.
your ability to
Come on
move
now.
mountains for what you believe is
Come
important.
on now,
I
create
saw
the
it with your
space.
best campaign,
Texas in the
your
building.
first term, and now to see you put your intellect and your heart and your work behind this is just incredibly encouraging. And as your friend, I'm just so grateful. So thank you for your leadership. And to all of our
Michigan
private
in the
sector
building.
partners in the room, I know we're going to get
AI
to hear
is
from some of
distilling the
you.
groundwater
Many of you, again,
everywhere.
we've worked together for some time, but this is
You see they putting solar panels up everywhere.
this is
Coming out of Stockholm, Sweden. Sweden in the building. We got Sweden family all around. Hummingbird. Yo, why does the sound keep dropping out?
vexing challenges facing
These
America.
look,
So
these
for
they
those
don't
of you
even know how to
who
work the
support
technology right
the
in front of them.
sector, we're just
They don't
so
even know how to
grateful
keep their
for your
mics on.
leadership and your willingness to lean in and realizing that sometimes in our country things can get fairly divisive, but your willingness to lean in and to be part of the universal approach to solving these massive problems is just so appreciated. So thank you. I want to say that President Trump has been very clear. The United States will lead the world.
Oh, I'm
in
sorry. I'm
artificial
sorry for asking y'all to
intelligence, period.
engage
Full
in the
stop.
comment section.
Not China,
Now y'all just
not
want to
any of our other
leave.
foreign adversaries, but America. And with the First Lady's leadership and the presidential
South Carolina
AI
in the building was
challenge, we
good.
are making sure that our young people are ready to win that race. And I think that's why we're all here today. From my perspective as the Secretary of Agriculture and hyper-focused on rural America and returning the golden age of prosperity to every
Secretary
corner
of
this great country,
Agriculture.
I would like to say
What
that
what
far too
what
often
technology got to do with
living
agriculture?
and working in our rural parts
Well,
of our
okay,
country
maybe
that
you know
often
understanding
those are
crops
left
and growth
behind
and
and do
everything.
not always have the same access to the most recent technological innovations that our urban counterparts across the country do. We cannot let that happen with AI. The agricultural sector, who feeds and fuels and clothes the country, who provides the national security in terms of feeding ourselves and fueling ourselves, has the potential for a seismic shift driven by the integration of cutting-edge technologies like AI. While AI has already made some inroads in our farming practices and with our farmers and ranchers, its potential in agricultural education,
drones
we're
to
here
watch
talk today about
cattle.
education, is equally transformative. From personalized learning experiences to predictive
Might
analytics
have
for
bales of hay
curriculum
and stuff
design,
dropped off
AI
soon
is
with drones.
reshaping how agricultural knowledge is imparted and absorbed.
Might not even
This is
have to
why
leave the house
USDA
to
will
feed the
leverage
animal.
partnerships with 4-H, the Cooperative Extension System, and the National
Just put
Future
the drone on a
Farmers of
timer.
America to bring
Like
the
those little
presidential
robots
AI
that
challenge
vacuum your
into
floor
the
and shit.
heart of
The drone
rural
just pick up the
America.
bell and
The
drop that
potential
shit
to reach
off.
nearly 6 million youth through 4-H and then 1 million through FFA. The sky really is the limit to change the future of rural America. Microsoft and FFA have already developed a partnership called Farm Beats for K through 12 students, where they can work with environmental sensor systems to monitor soil moisture and detect
Hey, don't y'all start that shit. I see y'all, Hummingbird. I see y'all.
and make our food supply more nutritious. In addition to amplifying the presidential AI challenge with our partners, USDA is well prepared to support research, extension, and education activities that promote the use of artificial intelligence. In fact, USDA led the way in the first Trump administration through the creation of 5 AI research institutes at our amazing land-grant institutions. This collaboration brought together government, academia, and industry and totaled over $100 million in investments in Trump 1 5, 6, 7 years ago to research the use of AI in agriculture. In addition to the cutting-edge research being conducted, a key tenet of these institutes is education and workforce development. We can point to many examples of this at USDA in supporting the training of an AI-ready workforce. Last month, we had an AI Institute for Resilient Agriculture at Iowa State University holding a workshop for over 250 farmers to show how the AI tools they developed can assist in pest identification and management. Also embedding AI education and apprenticeships into many of our USDA grant programs. While there is more work to be done and the sky is truly the limit, examples like Texas State University creating a technology and leadership education network focused on AI, providing apprenticeships, courses, and workshops to integrate precision agriculture, training youth and education about new agricultural technologies such as unmanned aerial systems at Tennessee State University, and over 600 high school students in Colorado being trained on advanced technologies for agriculture like robotics and automation.
Right.
As I wrap today,
Sky is
before I
truly the
hand over
limit.
to my amazing colleague,
We
Lori
talking about
Chavez,
technology here. We're talking about outer
there is
space.
so
We're
much
talking about there is no
and I
limit
wanna
now.
again send my heartfelt thanks to Michael Kratsios, also to our incredible First Lady and her wonderful team.
At this point, we
and
limitless.
everything that has been done to get us to this point today. With the commitment of First Lady Mrs. Trump, and with the commitment of our industry partners who are sitting with us on the dais, but also in the audience, and of course, with President Donald Trump's leadership, tomorrow's workforce will be ready and leading the way in innovation. America's future will be stronger, more secure, and second to no one. The American dream will thrive and prosper like never before. And at the heart of all of that will be the American worker. So at this point, I'd love to turn it over to Secretary Chavez DeRimmer to talk a little bit about that. Thank you all.
Thank you, Brooke. Good afternoon. I'm Lori Chavez DeRimmer, and it's really an honor to be here on behalf
Hold on, let me check something real quick.
Madam President. We have a lot of exciting updates from the Department of Labor, and so I'll be brief. Under the direction of President Trump, the Department of Labor has taken on decisive action to make sure that we are promoting AI literacy and skills training, while the primary focus of this group is preparing our youth, the future youth. Congratulations. We are also advancing proposals to ensure all American workers are ready to thrive in an AI-driven economy. As you know, the President set out a goal to make America skilled again by providing more flexibility to state and local governments, including for artificial intelligence programs. Last month, the Labor Department issued guidance to state and local workforce agencies, encouraging the use of Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, some of you know it as WIOA funds, to help develop those AI skills. This new guidance also clarified that states can use their governor's reserve funds for AI learning opportunities, helping increase training across the public workforce system. To further promote AI training, we have developed a set of priorities to expand AI-related apprenticeship opportunities. It's part of a comprehensive workforce strategy that we just published with the Department of Commerce and Education titled America's Talent Strategy, Equipping American Workers for the Golden Age. On-the-job training programs will help fill the mortgage-paying jobs that AI will create, while also enhancing the unique skills required to succeed in various industries. Expanding these opportunities is a key component of our strategy to reach the President's goal of 1 million new active apprentices across the United States. And finally, the Department of Labor has been very proactive in engaging with industry leaders to start the dialogue around what AI literacy looks like and how we can collaborate to help all American workers
Congress argument.
And you don't want to support that. You don't want to support that evidence. So yes, the governors of the West, Washington, Oregon, and California will take up the
I've made it clear, I think that Secretary Kennedy is dead set on making it harder for children to get vaccines and that kids are going to die because of it. And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to put in the record today an op-ed written by Susan Monarez, who was fired by Mr. Kennedy.
Without objection.
So what we know, and Dr. Monarez, was approved by Republicans. She wrote an op-ed today in the Wall Street Journal, which I've just put in the record, and I quote her. She said, "I was told to pre-approve the recommendations of a vaccine advisory panel newly filled with people who have publicly expressed anti-vaccine rhetoric." So, it's not some liberal philosopher or something. This is the CDC director who tells the Wall Street Journal, which is not exactly interested in progressive, theories and the like, that she was told to pre-approve the recommendations of a vaccine advisory panel filled with people who've publicly expressed anti-vaccine rhetoric. So, my first question, Mr. Secretary, is did you in fact do what Director Monarez said you did, which is tell her to just go along with vaccine recommendations even if she didn't think such recommendations aligned with scientific evidence?
No, I did not.
That's a yes or no. So you have an opportunity to call her a liar if you say that you didn't do it, but I'd like to see you respond to this.
No, I did not say that to her. And I never had a private meeting with her. Other witnesses to every meeting that we have, and all those witnesses will say, I never said that.
So she's lying today to the American people in the Wall Street Journal?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's talk now about what's coming up. Because I made it clear what I've thought about the 203 days with my colleague, Senator Also Brooks. In 2 weeks, CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices will meet to make decisions about critical vaccines that protect us against hepatitis B, measles, and more. The committee's got a profound impact on vaccine access, but these aren't ordinary meetings. You've stacked the deck to ensure the panel bends to your views. In June, you fired all 17 committee members who are respected scientists and doctors. You replaced them with non-experts, vaccine skeptics, and conspiracy theorists. As a result, this critical advisory panel has lost scientific credibility. After years, colleagues, we spend so much time not looking at this as Democrats and Republicans, but as good science and scientific credibility. And now the American Academy of Pediatrics has warned that the committee is being politicized at the expense of children's health. American Academy of Pediatrics, you think they're lying too?
I think the American Academy of Pediatrics is gravely conflicted. They're the biggest contributors of the 4 largest vaccine makers. They run a journal, Pediatrics, which they make a lot of money on, that is completely dependent on pharmaceutical companies. So I wouldn't put a big stake in what they say that benefits pharmaceutical interests. Senator,
listen, either he got to be suffering from he's a cannibal. All these twitches that he did, this is because he eats flesh. He drinks blood or something. He's going through withdrawal. He needs a body. You could tell. He needs some blood. Look.
I didn't politicize it. I depoliticized it. The Congress has been investigating
all over the country, Mr. Secretary, scientists and doctors are saying otherwise. They're all wrong too. They're all lying, according to you.
The scientists and doctors that are supporting me all over the country. There is division on opinion.
That's
I get letters from thousands of people who are not political saying that this set of changes is going to damage American healthcare, and particularly these healthcare agencies, for decades to come. I don't get any letters from people saying, hey, this is going to make a big difference forever.
And maybe you're listening to a selective group of people.
You get me.
And I will.
Fine.
I will tell you what, Senator. I will put my mailbag against your mailbag any day of the week.
30 seconds. Dangerous respiratory viruses like RSV are on the agenda for the next advisory.
We need mods, but you got to join the Discord.
Awakened in the dead of night by a wheezing kid gasping for air, forced to rush their little one to the ER. There's no worse heart-wrenching fear. The RSV vaccine offers these kids protection against the worst effects of the virus.
Listen how RFK is breathing.
Like you're on a crusade to make infants and babies more vulnerable to the terrible illness. That's what we're doing with the COVID changes.
And please make your answer brief, Mr. Secretary.
I've said
the position is indefensible. I think it's possible.
Congress has been investigating that committee for 23 years because it is pervaded with conflicts of interest. What we did is we got rid of the conflicts of interest. We depoliticized it and put great scientists on it from a very diverse group.
Let me close with this because, like Senator Crapo, I'm a few seconds over. I don't think, Mr. Secretary, this is about you and me. This is about kids being pushed in harm's way by reckless and repeated decisions to get scientists and doctors out of the way and allow conspiracy theories to dictate this country's health policy. I don't see any evidence that you have any regrets about anything you've done or plans to change it. And my last comment is, I hope that you will tell the American people how many preventable child deaths are an acceptable sacrifice for enacting an agenda that I think is fundamentally cruel and defies common sense. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do I get a reply? Senator, you've sat in that chair for how long? 20, 25 years, while the chronic disease in our children went up to 76%. And you said nothing. You never asked the question, why it's happening? Why is this happening? Today, for the first time in 20 years, we learned that infant mortality has increased in our country. It's not because I came in here. It's because of what happened during the Biden administration that we're going to end.
I'm going to let Senator Wyden respond briefly to that, and then we're not going to go over like we just did.
This committee on a bipartisan basis. Colleagues, my cabinet secretary said
His mic is
that
off.
he had no interest in common care. The secretary,
Mr. Chairman, could we have regular order,
we
please?
are in the process of turning around the Medicare program with the chronic care bill that Chairman Hatch and you, Chairman, and this committee put together on a bipartisan basis.
All right, we're going to proceed, and I just want the rest of the members to know. I gave Senator Wyden as ranking member some leeway there, but we're going to stick to the 5 minutes.
Mr. Secretary, in June, you fired every member. Mr. Secretary, Mr. Secretary, may I have my time back, Mr. Chairman? Thank you. Mr. Secretary, thank you for your attention. In June, you fired every member of the well-qualified panel that was charged with recommending vaccines to the CDC. No one in your job has ever fired every committee member all at once. That month, you told the American people that you were, quote, going to bring great people onto the ACIP panel, not anti-vaxxers. Are you aware that one of the people you put on the panel, Dr. Robert Malone, claimed that the commonly used mRNA vaccine, quote, causes a form of AIDS and can damage children's, quote, brains, their heart, their immune system, and their ability to have children in the future? Yes or no, Mr. Kennedy?
And Dr. Malone is one of the inventors.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Were you aware that he had that view when you appointed him to this panel?
Dr. Malone is one of the inventors. As I said, Dr. Malone is one of the inventors of the mRNA
That's fine. That's
vaccine,
not
so he knows a lot more
that
about
statement,
it than I do.
Mr. Chairman, that statement is not true that Dr. Malone made, just as it wasn't true when you wrote that, quote, African AIDS is entirely different from Western AIDS. Are you aware that another one of these new members, Dr. Levy, wrote that, quote, evidence is mounting and indisputable
African AIDS
that
is different
mRNA
from Western
vaccines
AIDS?
cause serious harm, including death, especially among young people? Yes or no? Are you aware that he said that?
I wasn't aware he said it, but I think I agree with it.
You agree with it? It's not true. It wasn't true when he said it. It is not true when you said it. Secretary Kennedy, later this month, your new panel will meet to consider changing vaccine recommendations for American children. In addition to the COVID-19 vaccines, they are set to review recommendations for the hepatitis B vaccine, for measles, for mumps, for rubella and varicella vaccine, and the RSV vaccine. These are common back-to-school vaccinations for children all over the industrialized world. If you change that, you owe parents in Colorado and across the country the benefit of some transparency of that. If your panel recommends changing the vaccine schedule for children, do you anticipate that fewer children will receive these common vaccinations, yes or no?
What I would say...
Yes or no?
The obvious answer is yes. Should parents and schools of Colorado be prepared?
Yo, he is not trying to let him answer shit. Yes or no?
How about more mumps outbreaks.
I do not anticipate a change in the MMR vaccine. ACIP is an independent panel. So,
Well, it's a panel you just put those folks on. Far from what you said, they're people with ideas that are completely outside the mainstream.
You mean out of the pharmaceutical paradigm?
Let me just say, Mr. Secretary, all these vaccines that we're talking about today are free and accessible to parents today in America who have the freedom to be able to make that choice for their children. Will that be true after your handpicked panel makes their judgments about these vaccines?
Yes or no?
I think that parents should be free to...
I know you said that before, I do too.
To make their own choices.
So will they be just as free after these?
I assume they will be.
I will hold you to that, Secretary Kennedy. Because this is not a podcast, it is the American people's health that's on the line here. This is the last thing, by the way, our parents need when their kids are going back to school, is to have the kind of confusion and expense and scarcity that you're creating as a result of your ideology.
Ideology.
I think it's critical for you to share the evidence that this panel will rely on. Will you give the American people 6 months or 6 weeks in advance the record that they're going to rely on to make these decisions? Will you make it transparent for the American people?
All the evidence is transparent.
Will you make it in advance transparent for the American people so they can comment on it?
All the evidence is transparent for the first time in history, and you were never there complaining when the pharmaceutical companies were picking those people and then running their products through with no safety
You can characterize it any way you want. I quoted them today. What I said was accurate. What you said were lies. You described people moving the Titanic.
Are you saying that the mRNA vaccine has never been associated with myocarditis or pericarditis?
I am simply.
Is that what you're trying to tell us?
I am simply trying to say that the people that you have put on that panel, after firing the entire.
You're evading the question.
No, I'm asking the question seriously.
You're evading that question.
I'm asking the questions, Mr. Kennedy. I'm asking the questions for Mr. Kennedy on behalf of parents and schools and teachers all over
I'm
the
asking the
United
questions
States
here.
of America who deserve so much better than your leadership. That's what this conversation is about, Mr. Chairman.
Senator, they deserve the truth, and that's what we're going to give them for the first time in the history of our agency.
And I'm approaching this as a doctor, not as a senator. I am concerned about children's health, seniors' health, all of our health. And I applaud you for joining the president in a call for radical transparency. Thank you for that. I said yesterday, I believe it, that President Trump deserves a Nobel Prize for Operation Warp Speed. If he had been President Obama, he would have gotten it. But because of Operation Warp Speed, forcing the federal government to come to a vaccine development within 10 months when others said it couldn't be done, we saved millions of lives globally, trillions of dollars, we reopened economies, incredible accomplishment. Mr. Secretary, do you agree with me that the president deserves a Nobel Prize for Operation Warp Speed?
Absolutely, Senator. That's
Let me ask you.
Got him.
But you just
Tricked
told
him.
Senator
Tricked him.
Bennett that the COVID vaccine killed more people than COVID.
Wait,
that was a statement.
I did not say that.
Got him.
Then let me ask, because you also...
Senator, I just want to make clear.
Got you.
We'll check the record. That's a question.
Yeah. Got
you.
you.
Also said that you were also
Dumbass.
the lead attorney for the Children's Health Defense. You engaged in multiple lawsuits attempting to restrict access to the COVID vaccine. Again, it surprises me that you think so highly of Operation Warp Speed when, as an attorney, you attempted to restrict access. Now, let me ask.
I'm happy to explain why.
I have 3 minutes and 30 seconds left. It also surprises me because you've canceled, or HHS did.
Y'all hit that like button. Double tap the screen. Let's get a tap session going. Let me see a bunch of hearts pop up on the screen.
Platform that was critical to Operation Warp Speed. Again,
Everybody just start tapping.
I think President Trump should get a Nobel Prize for. You canceled $500 million in contracts.
There we go. I see the hearts. I see
I grew
him.
up in a middle class family. So
Appreciate it.
$500 million
Appreciate it.
seems this council. It seems like an incredible waste of money, but it also seems like a commentary upon what the president was attempting, what the president did in Operation Warp Speed, which is to create a platform by which to create vaccines.
I see him flowing.
So this just seems inconsistent that you would agree with me the president deserves a tremendous amount of credit for this.
Is this a question, Senator Cassidy, or is this a speech that you don't want me to
No, I'm
answer?
asking
Because
a
I
question.
want to answer that question.
Please,
If it's a question.
But be tight, please.
First of all, the reason that Operation Warp Speed was genius is it did something nobody had ever been done. I don't think any president but President Trump could do it. It got the vaccine to market that was perfectly matched to the virus at that time when it was badly needed, because there was low natural immunity and there were people getting very badly injured by COVID. And then, but it was also brought in therapeutics like hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin and all of it, and protocols for treatments, and there were no mandates. And then
Okay, I have another question, so please, about
that's when I began litigating against President Biden's mandates. Now,
I'm sorry, let me go on because
in terms
you've
of
covered
me
the mandates
canceling those
before.
contracts,
I have limited time, Mr. Secretary, I'm sorry. You've called for, and rightly so, that we should restrict participation in agencies for those with conflict of interest. I would like to submit for the record a evaluation of the conflict of interest of those who are on the ACIP and the Vaccines and Related Biologic Products Advisory Board. It was not 97% as alleged, rather it was 6.9%, and it was 1.2%, I think, for the other panel.
Without objection.
Now, I am concerned, though, because many of those whom you have nominated for the ACIP board. Excuse me, can I have my time back?
Yes.
Yeah. What I am concerned about is that many of those whom you've nominated for ACIP have received revenue as serving as.
Hey, this is not going well. Let me get my time back.
Suing vaccine makers. Now, one of my colleagues in another setting
Appreciate the hearts.
alleged that you seem more
I
interested
see
in
him. I see him.
settlements than
I see
science.
y'all.
If we put people who are paid witnesses for people suing vaccines, that actually seems like a conflict of interest. Real quickly, do you agree with that?
no, I don't. It may be a bias, and that bias, if disclosed, is okay. But it's not a financial. It's not a financial conflict of interest. It's not a financial.
Let me finish up. You also told Senator Wyden at the outset that you didn't want to take vaccines away from people. And as I conclude, I would like to say this. Because of the conflicting recommendations made about COVID. This is from Eric Erickson, good conservative out of Atlanta, Georgia, occasionally gives me help. My wife has stage 4 lung cancer. She's one of the people the COVID vaccine actually helps. Thanks to the current mess at HHS, CVS is unable to get her vaccine. Secondly, an email from a physician friend of mine. Hey, Bill, I'm not even sure what I'm asking you, but we're all confused and concerned about who can get the COVID vaccine. We are having our attorney try and render an opinion, but there's no firm guidance and concern about liability if vaccines are given to a patient who requests it, but not on the current CDC list. Pharmacists are requiring a prescription now even for patients over 65, creating a huge headache. I submit these for the record.
Without objection.
I would say effectively we're denying people vaccine.
Senator Cantwell.
You're wrong.
Subscribe to the
No, I
page.
represent
Subscribe
one
to
of
the
the
page.
most science-based states in
Don't forget to
the country
subscribe to the
that is
page.
percentage of scientists per capita. And at your confirmation hearing, we asked about this, whether you would follow science. You've made a statement here today in your testimony that you would follow science, and yet you're not following science, and that's what Senator Cassidy's question was. It's a simple yes or no answer. Do you think the president deserves to get a prize for warp speed in the mRNA technology that saved so many lives? And you won't answer that question.
I answered it.
No, you're saying that there are problems with what was interpreted. You could say yes. You could say
I
yes.
said the
Yeah. You
president
say
also deserves a Nobel Prize, but our mRNA vaccines that we're working on, the ones that we canceled, which are for upper respiratory infections alone, are those.
you canceled $500 million of research because
The mRNA technology is about continuing the research to be ready for the next flu, influenza, the next pandemic, and you have to do the research.
I'm happy to have a detailed discussion with you about it. You're so wrong on your facts.
You're interrupting me, and sir, you're a charlatan. That's what you are. You're the one
Oh,
who
shit.
conflate chronic disease with the need for vaccines. The
Oh
history on
shit,
vaccines
she called him a
is very
charlatan.
This is the 20th century. That's how many people had vaccines and had illnesses. This is the 21st century. This is the decrease, 99% down to 100%. This is what was delivered with vaccines. And you don't want to support that. You don't want to support that evidence. So yes, the governors of the West, Washington, Oregon, and California, will take up the efficacy of science. Yes, the University of Washington will deliver the science that America will depend on, because you don't want to depend on it. And his own Surgeon General of the Trump administration said over 2 million lives were saved because the mRNA
She came with a big
technology,
ass.
and you don't want to continue
She
that.
did not play.
You don't
She
want to
came with a
continue
big
that.
ass
So
backdrop.
what
She look.
country is going
You
to
thought
now
she was
take
playing.
that technology lead? What country is going to do that? Leaving us more vulnerable to some other country, keeping the advantage on having the best technology. So I'm telling you, I represent a state that's about technology. I have two other quick questions for you.
These questions or statements, because I can answer that question if it's actually a
Do
question.
you believe in having the ACA and the support for the ACA that is about to expire? Do you believe in doing something about that?
In terms of the enhanced premium tax credits,
Look at her
Yes.
face.
well, the Democrats had two chances to make them permanent, and they didn't. And they didn't
We're
for
the
a
ones
reason.
we're the ones who delivered it. So I'm just
They
asking
didn't
yes
for a
or no,
reason.
do you want to do something about this? Yes.
I want to fix the system, and that's what we're doing, fixing systematically to make premiums lower.
Yo,
That's
tap
what
that
we're
like
trying to
button.
do.
Do you think the
Tap
women
the
on
screen.
steps of
Appreciate
Capitol
the
were hooked up
appreciate
today?
the tap. I see y'all with
I don't know
is
about
that
any women on those
smiles or
steps.
laughter?
And we're talking about Epstein.
Smiley
Do you think they were a
faces.
hoax
I see
yesterday?
y'all.
Do I think they were
Tap it up.
Do
Tap
you
it
think
up.
they were perpetrating a hoax yesterday?
perpetuating a hoax?
Yeah.
I have no idea what they were saying. This is the first time hearing about it.
This is the first time you're hearing about
the women on
Epstein's.
Capitol steps saying that they believe that the Epstein information should be made public. That's the first you're
This
hearing
is the
about
first
it.
time you're hearing about
What
it.
I'm saying is you're
Shut up.
perpetrating hoaxes. You, as this Secretary of Health, so you're undermining the whole health.
He said this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
You point to chronic disease, but you're not putting solutions on the table to cover more Americans, and you're taking away the science and technology that has made us the leader that has saved, according to the first Trump administration Surgeon General, millions of lives, and you don't want to keep that going. So no, I don't support your
Subscribe to the
continued efforts,
page. Subscribe to the
Secretary, and
page.
I definitely think that our colleagues need to rally around science. If you want the Northwest,
Y'all
to
think we can
continue
reach
to run on
5,000
all
subscribers
organic and all
today?
healthy people, okay, we'll do that. But it's a sad
How many? Let me
statement
see
for
how
the rest
many
of
we
America
away.
and America's leadership on technology. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I actually hoped. I didn't support you.
Oh, we gotta get like
I got taken off.
1,500.
I got 2 kids, as we discussed when you met, that have chronic illnesses. I'm not sure that the focus on red dye and seed oils are going to fully solve that problem. Of course they won't. I would say this, that seems
You gotta
very
get
emphasis. I'm gonna go
1,500.
back to just again some basic facts. Do you accept the fact that 1 million Americans died from COVID? I don't know how many died. You're the Secretary of Health and Human Services. You don't have any idea how many Americans died from COVID? I don't think anybody knows that because there was so much data chaos coming out of the CDC, and there was
Data chaos.
and these are models. You don't know the answer of how many Americans died from COVID. This is the Secretary of Health and Human Services. Do you think the vaccine did anything to prevent additional deaths? Again, I would like to see the data and talk about the data. You have had this job for 8 months.
Look at this dude. Look at this dude face. Watch this dude face.
That they didn't have have the data. The data by the Biden administration are absolutely dismal.
So
who is politicizing? You're saying the Biden administration?
Right, look at this dude's face. Look at him. Right, look at him. He's got that evil eye on his ass.
They fired Dr. Grunt. They fired all the people who questioned the orthodoxy. They fired Dr. Gruber, Dr. Cows.
The Secretary of Health and Human Services doesn't know how many Americans died from COVID. Doesn't know if the vaccine helped prevent.
Look.
And you are sitting as Secretary of Health and Human Services? How can you be that ignorant? Like, I remember when we went through the hearing with you, I asked you about community health centers. You didn't know what role they
They is tearing his ass up.
I think in April. I tell you what, I hear on community health centers, they are terrified. With all due respect to my good friend, the chairman, of the big awful bill. Because they are going to lose health care.
The big beautiful bill.
They already live in food deserts. They can't get to a nutritionist because Medicaid doesn't do enough reimbursement. If you're going to want Americans to get healthier, should they have access to nutritionists? Should they have access to good science about healthy food?
Absolutely.
Well then, how is that going to happen with the Medicaid cuts that are taking place?
There are no cuts to Medicaid.
Sir, that is an absurd. There is not a single, some might Republican colleagues, but there is not a single study that does not, I can tell you, I was in Franklin, Virginia a couple days ago. The rural hospital was going to close. The hospital system was so afraid they wouldn't even let me have the meeting there. But that rural hospital is going to close. And they are looking for where those folks are going to go. I mean, you're supposed to be doing health care policy, not being the doctor in residence for all of America. I hope I can just say, I'm still going to trust my doctor rather than your health advice. And obviously, Tom Cotton's going to, who knows who he's going to trust. But let me go back to policy, so maybe we'll lower the temperature a little bit. I got a bipartisan bill that would be a systemic fix, not a vote buying mechanism when Medicaid's getting cut, what was put in on the rural hospitals. One of the things we could do, Mr. Secretary, is make sure that the folks who work in rural hospitals get an 80% reimbursement of what folks get in more urban centers. Would you support that legislation?
Are you talking about the area wage index?
I'm talking about the area wage index and moving that up to 80%. So there is actually ability to get rural providers.
President Trump supports that, and we support.
You support. Good. So you will work with us to get that passed.
Yes.
That will increase costs on both Medicaid and Medicare. So you are committed to that. I appreciate that. What about Senator Wyden and I've got a bill because across America,
what about what?
Hospitals are shutting down on their OBGYN services. Try to have a baby. I don't know about all my other friend states, but in Southside Virginia, you can't find a hospital. Will you work with us to make sure that before OBGYN services are taken out of a rural hospital, there has to be a process and procedure?
I'm happy to work with you on that, Senator, meet with you and see if we can work with you on it. I don't know exactly what the issue is.
Well, again, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, who has said he doesn't know how many people died from COVID, doesn't know if the vaccine saved lives, doesn't understand the issue of OBGYN doctors are fleeing rural America because they can't afford it. And with the cuts that are coming up, it's going to be exponentially worse. I would invite you, sir, to come with me to a community health center in Virginia and hear what is on people's mind. They want to get healthier? Absolutely. Count me in. But they also don't want their basic health care removed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Now, I want to follow up on a line of questioning that Senator Cassidy.
They is tearing his ass up.
Mr. Secretary, President Trump said that the COVID-19 vaccine produced by Operation Warp Speed was, and these are the president's words, a monumental national achievement. Although I have strongly opposed many of President Trump's actions, I agree with him that Operation Warp Speed in 2020 was a monumental achievement. Unfortunately, you are undermining one of the president's biggest achievements, which, as the president said, saved millions of American lives. You even went as far as to call President Trump weak for this life-saving accomplishment. Last year, you tweeted that President Trump has a weakness for swamp creatures, and that Operation Warp
Oh, you
Speed
said that
was
about Trump?
among, here's your quote again, the most devastating impact of President Trump's weakness.
Oh, you
So,
said
Mr.
that about
Secretary,
Trump?
Was Operation Warp Speed a monumental national achievement, as President Trump said?
For the reason that I already said, I assume you won't let me repeat, but I'm happy to if you want. Yes, it was.
Good. Assuming it is a monumental achievement, you've said it was, is it true that, as President Trump has said, he saved millions of American lives with the COVID-19 vaccine? Because you've just expressed great confusion about that to Senator Warner.
The only confusion I expressed is exactly how many lives were saved. I don't think anybody knows that because of the data chaos.
So multiple studies have shown that the vaccine reduced infections and severe diseases and saved at least 3 million lives in the United States and millions more abroad in the first 2 years of the pandemic.
It's possible those are modeling studies.
I will also note, just as you've been talking about data and concern about it, the process for COVID vaccine approval was public, it was live streamed, and it was out in the open. Manufacturers and experts have publicly submitted data analysis, and when the FDA has asked for more, they've submitted more. They've done that for years, and the evidence is clear and supports what President Trump has said. The vaccine works, and it has saved millions of lives. Your own process, on the other hand, has not been transparent. You repeatedly choose to ignore data because it doesn't match your preconceived notions and lies. So you have said that the vaccine did save lives. You've said it was a monumental achievement. And given that, if you agree with President Trump that the vaccine saved millions of lives, why have you acted behind closed doors to overrule scientists and limit the freedom of parents to choose the COVID vaccine for their children? Why have you done that?
For the COVID vaccine, I was removed by FDA because there was the industry.
No, it was behind closed doors.
No, that's not
and scientists who said they wanted to brief you on the science, scientists who wanted to understand why the FDA, why you unilaterally changed the parameters for giving vaccines, making it possible now, to Senator Cassidy's colleagues' points, that they're going to have to go off-label.
This is crazy talk. You're just making stuff up.
To prescribe the vaccine for children. I'm not making things up. Do you know how the FDA approval process works and what?
Yeah, I do. I know exactly.
You know what an off-label prescription is?
This is crazy stuff. You're making things up.
So why behind closed doors?
It's not behind closed doors. The industry makes the studies, and they could not provide a study that said that it is effective for healthy kids.
So when have you produced the data that you relied on, and that this FDA relied on to change those parameters? You did it behind closed doors, and now parents who decide that they do want their children to have
You're just making stuff up, Senator.
I'm not
You're just making stuff up.
You know, sometimes when you make an accusation, it's kind of a confession, Mr. Kennedy. So let's just settle with this. Here's what's going to happen. To Senator Warner's point, to the parents who are concerned all around the country, to people who want to get the COVID vaccine this fall, even if they're under 65, because the boosters have worked, there's been much less serious disease, people do not have the same level of threat and risk from COVID that they used to because of these vaccines. People who want to exercise their freedom of choice are being denied that because you are citing data that you won't produce to the public.
You're just
and you are objecting.
You're making things up to scare people, and it's a lie.
With respect, I do not think I'm the one making it.
You are lying right now, Senator.
So, last November, while you were under consideration to become Secretary of Health and Human Services, Mr. Kennedy, you said, quote, "If vaccines are working for somebody, I'm not going to take them away. No exceptions, no ifs, ands, or buts. You would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them." Then last week, you announced that the COVID-19 vaccine is no longer approved for healthy people under the age of 65. In announcing the change, you said the vaccine will be available for anyone who wants it. Now, obviously, both things cannot be true at the same moment. So let's clear this up right now, Secretary Kennedy. Will you tell America that all adults and all children over 6 months of age are eligible to get a COVID booster at their local pharmacy today?
Why is he breathing like that?
Anybody can get the booster.
I'm sorry?
Anybody can get it.
Anybody. So you're saying that is now the official rule of HHS. Anybody is eligible to get a booster by just
Y'all
walking
get those
into a
likes up.
pharmacy.
We need to hit 100 likes.
Recommended for healthy people.
No. If you don't recommend,
Let's
then
get the likes up.
consequence of that in
Please.
many states
Thank you.
is that you can't walk into a
Appreciate
pharmacy
y'all.
and get one. It means insurance companies don't have to cover
I
the
believe in y'all.
$200 or so cost. As Senator Dr. Cassidy said, you are effectively denying people vaccines.
We're not going to recommend a product for which there's no clinical data for that indication. Is that what I should be doing?
What you should be doing is honoring your promise that you made when you were looking to get confirmed in this job.
You're going like
and
this.
that is, you promised that you would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them. You just changed the classification of the COVID vaccine.
I'm not taking them away from people, Senator.
It takes it away if you can't get it from your pharmacist.
Well, most Americans are going to be able to get it from their pharmacy for free. Most Americans will be able to get it from their pharmacy for free.
The question is, everyone who wants it, that was your promise.
No, I didn't. I never promised that I was going to recommend products with which there is no indication.
When you said...
And I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
Did you hold up a big sign saying that you were lying when you said that? Because you are the one who said you would not take them away. Now, Senator...
I'm not taking them away from anybody.
Secretary...
You want me to indicate a product for which there is no clinical data?
Senator,
is that what you want?
Secretary Kennedy, you said you wouldn't, and now you did.
I'm not taking them away. Everybody can get access to them.
No, they can't walk into a pharmacy the way that they could last month and get access.
It depends on the state.
See, look, every time the likes go up, more people come in the room. Come on, get the likes up. More people will come in the room.
So look, let's move on. You clearly are taking away vaccines. I've seen the list for what's coming up next, and that is the agenda for the next CDC vaccine panel. And first up is ratifying your COVID actions. Second is hepatitis B is on the agenda. So should Americans expect you to take away hepatitis vaccine access as well, even though you promised not to?
As I said, I'm not taking vaccines away from anybody.
Okay, same answer, right? You're just going to deny that when people can't get access, that you're not taking it away. Then let me ask you, is that the same game you're going to play with me?
You want me to recommend every product in the world so that without any clinical trial data?
Through on your promises.
Yeah, my promise was to give.
A month ago, we could get COVID vaccines by just walking.
You can still.
Oh, 90 likes. We almost at 100 likes.
No, you can still get the COVID vaccines, and Medicare will still pay for them, and Medicaid will still pay for them.
Tell the head of the CDC that if she refused to sign off on your changes to the childhood vaccine schedule, that she had to resign.
No, I told her that she had to resign because I asked her, are you a trustworthy person? And she said no. So if you had an employee who told you they weren't trustworthy, would you ask them to resign, Senator?
So, I'm sorry, but this is not what she has said publicly. She has said...
I'm not surprised about that.
So you're saying she's lying?
Yes. Every conversation I had with her, there were
And let me get
witnesses.
this straight. This is the same person that less than a month earlier, you stood next to her and described her as unimpeachable, and you had full confidence in her, and that you had full confidence in her scientific credentials. And in a month, she became a liar?
Yeah, you should ask her what changed. And by the way, a month ago, you were voting against her. Oh, because you thought she was either incompetent, ineligible, or unsuited to the task.
I'm
Well,
looking
now I
against her
agree.
because I was afraid she was going to bend the knee to you and Donald Trump. And it looks like she didn't bend the knee, so you fired her. Look, you are putting America's babies' health at risk, America's seniors' health at risk, all Americans' health at risk, and you should resign.
Senator Sanders.
And you should resign.
Just want to pick up on Senator Warren's point. Are you telling us that the former head of CDC went to you, you asked her, are you a trustworthy person? And she said,
No.
no, I am not a trustworthy person?
She didn't say, no, I'm not a trustworthy person. She said, no.
Wow.
Giving a quote.
And
I asked her
no,
twice.
1 second, but you're also repeating now that she is a liar, correct? What you wrote in the Wall Street Journal.
If she wrote that I fired her because she refused to sign on in advance for the ASIP committee, no, that's not accurate.
No, you're calling her a liar, and I look forward to her coming before the Health Committee, maybe this committee as well. All right, Mr. Secretary, I've got a bunch of questions. Appreciate brevity in answering it. So-called beautiful bill threw 15 million Americans off of health care, substantially raised premiums, and is going to have a terrible impact on nursing homes, community health centers, rural hospitals all over America. Very briefly, is that really making America healthy again?
It's going to be the biggest infusion of federal dollars into rural health care in American history.
Yeah, you know why? Because you're cutting $150 billion for rural hospitals and putting $50 billion back. That's not an infusion. That's a loss of $100 billion. All right, next question. President Trump, who I don't usually agree with, called COVID.
Yo, why they keep setting him up like that? Why do they keep setting him up like that? They keep making him answer some shit and set him up. they say, he answer the question. You know why? Because you're a fucked up individual who don't know what the fuck's going on.
Homes, community health centers, rural hospitals all over America. Very briefly, is that really making America healthy again?
It's going to be the biggest infusion of federal dollars into rural health care in American history.
Yeah, you know why? Because you're cutting $150 billion for rural hospitals and putting $50 billion back. That's not an infusion. That's a loss of $100 billion. All right, next question. President Trump, who I don't usually agree with, called COVID vaccines, quote, one of the greatest miracles in the history of modern-day medicine that saved tens of millions of lives worldwide. Scientific community agrees with Trump. Lancet study found that it prevented almost 20 million deaths during their first year of use. Secretary Kennedy, are President Trump and the medical community right, or do you still believe that the COVID vaccine was, quote, the deadliest vaccine ever made?
No, first of all, I didn't say that. I said that in terms of affairs reports.
You know why?
A while ago. I said today, I think that President Trump should get the Nobel Prize.
So who's right? Is Trump with the medical community right, or are you right?
President Trump did an extraordinary piece of leadership.
Is he right or wrong? Did COVID save millions of lives?
As I said, he got Americans back to work. At that time, that particular vaccine, which perfectly matched the virus that was circulating then, and I have no idea how many lives it saved, but it saved quite a few.
You know, what I find a little bit weird in this discussion, I'm hearing it over and over again this morning, Mr. Chairman, is we've got the entire medical community on one side. You got the AMA representing hundreds of thousands of doctors, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Public Health Association. All of these organizations are telling us that COVID vaccine and vaccines in general are safe and effective. You are casting doubt on that. Who are your who are the organizations that are agreeing with you and casting aspersions on vaccines?
The primary advisors are Marty McCary, Jay Bhattacharya, Dr. Oz, Vinay Prasad.
So you got a few doctors who agree with you, but I'm giving you the
Not a few doctors. What you're talking about, if there's a big difference, Senator, between established science and the scientific establishment, which has been co-opted by the pharmaceutical
industry. Hold on. So you're telling the American people that the American Medical Association, representing hundreds of thousands of people, have been co-opted and that they should not trust their doctors. And the American Academy of Pediatrics, and by the way, just for the record, every single Republican, I don't mean to be political here, Mr. Chairman, has received PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. Are they all corrupt as well?
And I'm telling you, the American Heart Association has been co-opted by the food
Everybody but you, sir. But you know what? When you ran for president, we have a corrupt campaign finance system.
Everybody but you, sir.
Okay, you were for president, you had a billionaire behind it. You received $300,000 from people, not from the industry, people as I did, from individuals. You corrupt. President Trump got $3 million. Every Republican got corporate PAC money for the pharmaceutical industry. Democrats as well. Everybody is corrupt, but you? Is that what we're looking at? I don't think so. And I think the issue
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, I think you do know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The issue is every time anyone
Are you saying the pharmaceutical industry was supporting my presidential campaign?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the pharmaceutical industry is a greedy institution which is charging us the highest prices in the world. They are pervasive. But to suggest that every institution, the AMA, the pediatrics people, is corrupt because they disagree with you is an insult to the American people.
Listen, people disagree with me all the time. I have arguments.
He's so confused. He is so confused. He's like, what? What are you saying? He say everybody's corrupt. What are you saying? Are you saying I'm corrupt? Are you? What are you saying?
I yield, Mr. President.
Senator Tillis. I can't conclude from the discussion today where you are on warp speed. So I would like.
I don't know who's corrupt at this point. Who are we talking about
exactly
again?
Where you are. Was it good? Was it bad? Were there things that worked? Were there things that didn't work? I can't discern that from what you said here. I, for one, think that it was a signature accomplishment of President Trump and the mRNA platform is something.
I agree with that.
I look forward to you giving us a detailed statement on exactly where you are with warp speed. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a trial lawyer, I'm a boring management consultant. Another question that we'll submit in the record, I'll give you directionally where we're going. I don't see how you go over 4 weeks from a public health expert with unimpeachable scientific credentials, a longtime champion of MAHA values, caring and compassionate and brilliant microbiologist, and 4 weeks later, fire her because at least the public reports say because she refused to fire people that work for her. So as somebody who advised executives on hiring strategies, number one, I would suggest in the interview, you ask them if they're truthful rather than 4 weeks after we took the time of the U.S. Senate to confirm the person just for the future nominee that we're going to have to consider. But I do also believe that some of your statements seem to contradict what you said in the prior hearing. You said you're going to empower the scientists at HHS to do their job. I'd just like to see evidence where you've done that, and I'm sure that you will have some. You will do nothing that makes it difficult or discourages people from taking vaccines. There seem to be several reports that would seem to refute that, but I'd rather you just respond to it. I'm not going to come here and impose my belief over any of yours. That again seems to be contradictory to the firing of a CDC director, the canceling of mRNA research contracts, firing advisory board members, attempting to stall NIH funding.
Better be nice to me.
For the I think $500 million for.
Better be nice to me.
I'm sorry, mRNA research, and just want an answer for it. On HR 1, I believe you know my concerns about HR 1. I've had several meetings with, and HR 1 is the big beautiful bill, OB3, whatever the brand is. But I'm still, I've got an office with 60 staff, including half of them in state office. I've had 3 different estimates of the economic impact on the state of North Carolina. Can I get your commit? And I have been looking for somebody that's far more resourced than an office of 30 people up in here in DC to disprove my estimates with respect to the impact on North Carolina, period. And I've yet to have any. I would love to be embarrassed and be wrong, but I would like to get your commitment for people to tease through the numbers that I provided before the vote on HR 1 that says that if you normalize 3 independent estimates across a broad spectrum, $25 billion over 10 years. I don't need your response now. I want somebody to destroy my estimates, because to this point, the most resourced health agency in the world has only given me word salad responses, and I need that so that we can prepare for the response. $25 billion over 10 years is half of the rural relief fund over 5 years. And so we just need to have that fact as a matter of policy so that we can go in North Carolina and absorb it. And I know every state's different, and I'm assuming every one of my colleagues here have done the math for their states, not focused on that. But I want you to destroy my estimates if they're in fact wrong, and I want you to acknowledge them if in fact they're right. That will come into question as well. Mr. Kennedy, you've stated multiple times in response to other members' questions that scientists were lying. We'll go back to the record in cases where you've said that. I'd just like to see the scientific evidence to substantiate that. I'm going to stipulate that you were honest and you had research behind it. We'll go back and figure out what scientific studies you believe are founded on lies and not scientifically viable. And then finally, I just want to give you an opportunity. Apparently in the exchange with Senator Bennett, you said you agreed with Dr. Levy's statements, who said that the mRNA vaccine caused serious harm, including death, particularly in young people. They said you agreed with that comment. Did you agree with that comment or not?
I think that's true, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Chair.
So, Mr. Kennedy, I have sat here for the last many minutes and listened carefully to your testimony. And I think actually Senator Tillis laid out so many of the ways that what you have said has contradicted yourself and others. It's, I don't even know where to start. So I'm going to start here. Over the last 8 months, you have claimed to make America healthy again, but in actual fact, you have led the charge in the Trump administration to destroy what is best in our healthcare system. And your denials and your evasion and your lies here do not change that. You are the Secretary of the Health and Human Services, yet you're trafficking in these fringe idea and discredited theories that are completely out of step with the scientific consensus, and you seem to be willing to say anything in the moment, even if it's untrue. So last time you were before Congress, Secretary Kennedy, you claimed, and I quote, "I have never been anti-vax, I have never told the public to avoid a vaccination," but in a podcast, you said the opposite. You said there's no vaccine that is safe and effective. So that sure sounds anti-vax to me, Secretary Kennedy. So let me ask you, when were you lying, sir? When you told this committee that you were not anti-vax, or when you told Americans that there's no safe and effective vaccine?
Both things are true.
Oh, so more denial, more back and forth. I mean, here's what I know. Here's what I know.
Explain why, Senator, you just...
No, actually, I want you to listen to me.
Okay, go ahead.
I want you to listen to me, because I've been listening to you. You said that ACIP is an independent panel after you stocked it with your picks. You said that you want evidence-based science, but it seems that what you mean is evidence that supports your view, not the scientific consensus. I mean, you dared to sit there and call my colleague from New Hampshire a liar when she presented you with facts that don't support your view of the world. It's incredible. But let me move on. Just last week, in the days after the tragic shooting at Annunciation Catholic School in my home state of Minnesota, you went on Fox News blaming school shootings on antidepressants. You have no evidence of that because you have no evidence of a connection. And you want to talk about...
You're just saying something. You're just making stuff up.
You know, this is what you say, right? Secretary Kennedy, when someone presents you with information that does not fit...
I did not blame that shooting. I have no idea whether... I have no idea, and I never said that. You're making it up. You're twisting. Yeah, you are. You are being dishonest right now.
You want to talk about mental health and gun violence in this country? If you want to talk about mental health and gun violence in this country, we should be talking about that, because that's what the
Let's talk then,
Parents
Senator.
Association School.
You don't want to talk, you want to harangue, and you want to politically, you want to have partisan politics.
That is,
I want to actually solve these problems.
Mr. Secretary Kennedy, what the Trump administration is doing right now is making it harder for people in this country to get access to mental health care. So don't talk to me about solving the mental health care crisis when you are making it harder. You cut Medicaid, which is the #1 payer for mental health care services in this country. You decimated the agency of Health and Human Services that focuses on mental health and substance abuse. That's what states count on. They're cutting their services to schools as a result of that. Several years ago, in a bipartisan way, Congress came together and passed the Safer Communities Act, which made important investments in mental health care and did some important, though small things, to reduce access to guns. What do? You propose cutting that funding. This is what we're talking about in your leadership in the Department of Health and Human Services. If you want radical transparency, as you talk about, I mean, take a look at what you are doing. And, you know, I've heard a lot about MAHA today while we've been here. There's a lot of Americans, Secretary Kennedy, who trust you, who believe what you say, especially when you say you're standing up to corruption. And I think that they need to know, you apparently have a lot of influence with President Trump. Did you ask him not to roll back these regulations that are stopping the big corporations from dumping heavy metals and endocrine disruptors into our soil and water? I mean, there's no evidence that you have been even opposing that. Did you do anything to stop the Trump administration from rolling back this handout to Big Pharma that makes it easier for the big drug companies to charge more for cancer drugs? No, you presided over that. I mean, it's stunning, really, what's happened over the last 8 months. It's stunning to me. And I just hope that in this moment, our colleagues, there's hardly anybody left in this room, are going to think about what it is that you've done, what your legacy is going to be at the Health and Human Services Agency, and pay attention to the damage that is being done here.
Secretary Kennedy, Dr. Daskalakis, who recently resigned as director of the National Center for
tearing his ass up.
Respiratory Diseases, his resignation
He want to break
letter
so
stated
bad.
he and his
Better
team
drink
were
some of that
never
coffee.
allowed to brief you. I'm curious who you're listening to, since it's clear you're not listening to qualified experts.
Probably ain't
like
even
Dr.
coffee in there. It's
Daskalakis.
probably
Can you
alcohol.
give the committee the name of the person?
I don't consider Dr. Daskalakis.
Mr. Secretary, the question that I have for you is, can you give the committee a name of who you're getting briefed by?
Yes
I'm getting briefed all the time by CDC.
Just a name.
Well, Dr. William Thompson's one name.
Thank you very much, sir.
Now, but I can get you a whole list of other. It's on my schedule.
Mr. Secretary, that's not a hard question. You know a lot of answers.
I'm not being evasive.
Okay, then you answered it. Let's go on. Now, you said that you're soon going to release a study claiming to reveal the cause of autism, timed unsurprisingly with the upcoming ACIP meeting to justify taking vaccines from Americans. Now, as you know, autism affects millions of children, so I guess you'd have the nation's top medical experts working on this. Mr. Kennedy, you hired a man named David Geyer to conduct this study. Is that correct?
No.
Is Mr. David Geyer working for HHS?
He's a contractor, but he's not conducting a study.
He's a contractor?
He's a contractor.
Do you know who works for you, Mr. Kennedy?
Yeah.
Do you know that Mr. Geyer is listed as a HHS on the employee directory as a senior data analyst, not a contractor?
He's a contractor. He's not an SGE.
So is your website wrong?
He's not an SGE. I don't know what.
I'm going to pull up the website for you.
He's a contractor.
If the website says he is a senior data analyst, will you at least admit to the community?
Well, I don't know if a contractor can be classified as a senior data analyst or not.
Is Mr. Geyer a doctor?
No.
Did you know he never went to medical school?
He's not practicing medicine.
Did you know that he got caught in Maryland and was charged for practicing medicine without a medical license?
He was charged by a medical board, sued the medical board, and the medical board was found to have acted in actual malice and was fined $2.6 million by a judge in Maryland
for doing that.
See, so you choose to know a lot when you want to know a lot. It's incredible.
Senator, you're ridiculous.
So here's the question I have.
Wait.
You brought him in to do this.
Look, you better grab that water. You better grab that water. He got his ass. Oh, you don't know nothing about this dude. You don't know he's listed as a medical, Oh. But he got his ass right there. Hold on, let's rewind that for a second. He got his. You know a lot when you need to know a lot.
Did you know he never went to medical school?
Grab that water.
He's not practicing medicine.
Did you know that he got caught in Maryland and was charged for practicing medicine without a medical license?
He was charged by the medical board. He sued the medical board, and the medical board was found to have acted in actual malice and was fined $2.6 million by a judge in Maryland for doing that.
See, so you choose to know a lot when you want to know a lot. It's incredible.
Senator, you're ridiculous.
So here's the
Got
question
him.
I have. You brought him in to do this study. I think there's no question about it.
I told you he's not doing a study.
Is he participating in the study?
No.
Is he doing any analysis in regards to this study?
Why is he on the board then? Why is he on the board as
the
that?
Vaccine Safety Data Link, which is the biggest repository for vaccine information that your friend will not give us for 7 months. For
Mr.
7 months.
Secretary, I've asked you this question, just because you know the answer. What is Mr. Dyer doing?
He is the only one, because Congress ordered CDC to open up the VSD to him in 2002. He's the only outsider who's ever seen it. So because CDC will not give us the
Mr. Secretary, is he participating in this thing?
No,
You just said he's the only dude that knows what's going on here.
Do you want me to explain it to you, Senator, or
No,
you
because
just
you're
want to
confusing
show?
me.
You just want to show both.
I'll submit
You
this.
just want to show both for your ads, or do you want to hear a real answer to your question?
Mr. Secretary, you choose to know answers to questions with some colleagues. And
I'm willing to give you the answer. I'm
Maybe
willing to give you the
Mr.
answer.
Secretary, someone should have asked you, maybe President Trump should have asked you, are you a trustworthy person? We should have waited for an answer then. Let's move
I don't
on.
even know what you're talking about. You're talking gibberish.
Mr. Secretary, let me speak slowly and clearly so that you can understand me through my New Mexico accent.
And then give me a chance to
Does this
answer.
help? Can you understand me?
Yes.
Appreciate that. Mr. Secretary, yes or no, did you hire Mr. Dyer to do this study?
No.
Mr. Chairman, well, let me ask, maybe we'll just get a good answer here. Mr. Secretary, will you commit to sharing the protocols used for the autism study with Congress and to the public?
They're public.
Will you commit to giving it to this committee by the end of the week?
No, not because that's not the way it works.
Will you?
You don't even know what you're talking about.
Mr. Secretary, will you commit to sharing the protocols for the study by the end of the month?
We already have.
You just said it's public.
We put out the notice of funding opportunities, and then the scientists from all over the world.
You're not understanding me. Let me
No, you're not understanding how the world works.
Do you understand what the protocols are? Do you understand what they are?
The scientists who are doing this study submit the protocol.
Okay, so you
That's
know what
not
they
coming
are.
from us.
So will you commit to sharing those protocols with this committee?
Well, anybody can get a hold of the protocol. It's published with the study.
Mr. Chairman, what I'd like to ask is for your commitment here. I'll send a letter to the Secretary. I'll ask for support from the leadership of this committee to ask for those protocols. If those protocols are not given to this
Anybody
committee,
can get the protocols.
Mr. Secretary, I'm not talking to you. Mr. Chairman, what I'm asking...
If the protocols are public, we can work with you.
What I'm asking, Mr. Chairman, is that if those protocols are not given to this committee, I'm asking for your agreement that we follow through with the subpoenas to get them.
No, I will not agree to subpoena anything. Let's see what
But
happens.
Mr. Chairman, you'll help me get them if they're available publicly?
Yes.
I appreciate that, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Kennedy, with all the questions here today, people just want to know the truth.
I don't think so.
Mr. Secretary, you don't think so? Thank you.
I don't think so.
I don't think people know the truth. Secretary said, I don't think people want to know the truth.
Las Cruces, New Mexico, at a town hall recently gave me this.
He just said, I don't think people want to know the truth.
But after your questioning today, I don't think you deserve it. Because what this represents is to remember that every one of us can make a difference, sir, to something as small as a starfish on a beach that maybe got washed up, you throw it back in the ocean. You might not save them all, but you can save one. I'm sorry that you're not worthy of this nice little pin, sir, as a nice reminder. I'm going to pray for you, Secretary Kennedy. I hope we do better. I want you to do better. But today was a failure for you, man.
Less than a month ago,
Wow.
we received a heartbreaking
Wow. Today was a failure for you, man.
at the CDC campus in Atlanta, Georgia. This obviously is my neck of the woods. This is heart-wrenching for all Americans, but for those of us especially who live in that area. The DeKalb County police officer, David Rose, was killed. The shots hit buildings on campus in at least 180 places, narrowly missing the CDC's daycare center. Law enforcement recovered nearly 500 shell casings. Clearly, he came to do a lot of damage. It's a miracle, and thanks to the quick action of Metro Atlanta and state law enforcement, more people were not killed. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation announced that prior to the attack, the gunman expressed discontent with the COVID vaccine and, quote, wanted to make the public aware of his distrust of the vaccines. Secretary Kennedy, I assume you are aware of these disturbing reports of the gunman's motives?
Yes.
And, I understand that some people may have concerns about new medical breakthroughs, but those people don't have the world's top medical experts working under them. You've been over HHS for 7 months now. Have you ever been briefed by CDC's career immunization officials to discuss your concerns?
And by the way, every member of this panel has criticized President Trump and demonized him.
Have you ever
Are
been
you
briefed?
complicit in the assassination attempts on President Trump?
Sir, I'm asking the questions. You are the witness. It's a simple yes or no question. Have you ever been briefed by CDC's career immunization officials to discuss their concerns?
Yes, I have.
What was the answer?
Yes.
You have been briefed by CDC officials, the career immunization officials, to express your...
The senior vaccine safety scientist.
Have you ever been to the CDC as secretary before the shooting on August 8th?
Have I ever been there as secretary?
Have you been there as secretary before the shooting? Okay. Let's return to the shooting and the aftermath. Secretary Kennedy, I'm about to ask you a series of yes or no questions about the events of the past month. And I would appreciate just a yes or no response. You called Dr. Manarez to your office on August 25th for a meeting. Is that correct? Yes or no?
It could be. I just don't know the date. I'd have to check my calendar.
Was Jim O'Neill the man you just appointed as acting director of CDC in the room on whatever date you met with him, since you can't recall? Was he in the room when you met with Dr. Manarez? In that meeting, did you criticize Dr. Manarez for her statements to CDC following the shooting where she said, quote, misinformation can be dangerous?
I don't believe so. I have no recollection.
You don't believe you criticized her?
I don't remember.
Did you criticize her? Did you criticize her?
I don't even.
Did you criticize her for her statements to CDC workers following the shooting?
What are you talking about?
Did you demand that she fire?
Why'd you say? What are you talking about?
Experts at the CDC.
Yes.
Did you demand that she accept the recommendations of your hand-picked vaccine advisory panel without further review by career CDC scientists?
No, I did not.
You didn't ask for her a commitment ahead of time that she would accept the recommendations from the advisory panel. You're denying that?
What I asked her about is she had made a statement that she was going to not sign on, and I wanted clarification about that.
Did you tell her to accept the advisory panel's recommendations?
I told her I didn't want her to have a rule that she's not going to sign on to it.
Did you say that the CDC was, quote, the most corrupt federal agency in the history of the world?
not the history of the world, but definitely
Did you
within
say-
HHS.
Did you say that?
I did not say that, but I did say it's the most corrupt agency in HHS, and maybe the government.
So you call the CDC corrupt. Did you say that CDC staff are, quote, horrible people?
Horrible people.
No, all
Did
caps.
you say that they're killing children and they don't care?
You're not all cap.
Okay, I think that we all have a history of listening to you and these answers, but you're on the record for a number of these statements. Despite your lack of credentials and expertise, clearly you have an agenda. It is a threat to the public health of the American people. It's clear that you are carrying out your extremist beliefs, which is why you attempted to fire Dr.
Senator, we're the sickest people in the world. We're the sickest people on earth.
I'm speaking.
How am I a threat?
Secretary Kennedy, for the first time, we're seeing deaths from children from measles. We haven't seen that in 2 decades. We're seeing that under your watch. You are a hazard to the health of the American people.
Can I respond?
No, I claim back my time.
We need to wrap
You
up.
are a hazard to the health of the American people. I think that you ought to resign. And if you don't resign, the President of the United States,
Should fire you.
who put forward Operation Warp Speed, which worked, should fire you. Thank you so much.
Damn. Where'd you find this? They was all over him. They didn't let him breathe. Man. Yikes. And this is the one he tried to act like he didn't know
My name
about.
is Lisa Phillips, and I'm the host of a award-nominated podcast called From Now On, a platform supporting survivors. I want to thank all of my survivor sisters.
Now they asking Trump for help.
I'll be very short.
So hopefully
In the
Trump
year
helps
2000,
them.
I was taken to Jeffrey Epstein's island while on a photo shoot on a nearby island.
Y'all get the
What I
likes
saw
up.
And what I experienced
Y'all
there
get the likes up. Y'all want to watch this.
was a glimpse.
200 likes to keep this on. 200 likes to keep
For
this
years
on.
after, I tried to avoid Jeffrey, but he had introduced me to Katie Ford, the owner of the Ford Modeling Agency. Epstein's reach went to the very top of fashion, arts, and entertainment. This did not just happen to underage girls in Florida. In New York City, hundreds of young, ambitious women were abused by him. Epstein was not just a serial predator, he was an international human trafficker. And many around him knew, many participated, and many profited. And yet, he was protected. So I stand here today for every woman who has been silenced, exploited, and dismissed. We are not asking for pity. We are here demanding accountability, and I'm demanding justice. Congress must choose. Will you continue to protect predators, or will you finally protect survivors? And also, I would like to announce here today, us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now, together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know, who were regularly in the Epstein world. And it will be done by survivors and for survivors. No one else is involved. Stay tuned for more details.
Hello, my name is Shantae Davies, and I'm here before you today as a survivor of decades of pain, trauma, and betrayal at the hands of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, and the people who enabled them, and a government that for far too long refused to help. In 2002, I was living in California, a young woman with high aspirations of becoming an actress. I was already beginning to make a name for myself in the industry. A person I trusted, someone I thought was a friend, invited me to meet a powerful woman who could help advance my career. That woman happened to be Ghislaine Maxwell. I was asked to give her a massage, though I had almost no experience, and when I did, she praised me and promised introductions to someone enormously powerful, someone who could change the course of my life, and that man was Jeffrey Epstein. At first, I was an excited young woman on top of the world. Epstein flew me to his private island, he listened to my dreams, promised to help, but his promises came with a catch. The abuse began. He told me to keep it secret. He manipulated me with quid pro quo I did not consent to, but I felt I had no one to turn to. He was too powerful. I was just one of the many young women trapped in his orbit. I was even taken on a trip to Africa with former President Bill Clinton and other notable figures. In those moments, I realized how powerless I was. If I spoke out, who would believe me? Who would protect me?
Why? Because that dude spit on
Epstein
Dak Prescott?
himself was the most powerful leader of our country. Epstein surrounded himself, with the most powerful leaders of our country and the world. He abused not only me, but countless others, and everyone seemed to look away. The truth is, Epstein had a free pass. He bragged about his powerful friends, including our current president, Donald Trump. It was his biggest brag, actually. And while what I endured will haunt me forever, I live every day with PTSD. I live as a mother trying to raise my child while distrusting a world that has betrayed me. This kind of trauma never leaves you. It breaks families apart. It shapes the way we see everyone around us. But one thing is certain, unless we learn from this history, monsters like Epstein will rise again. There are files, government files, that hold the truth about Epstein, who he knew, who owed him, who protected him, and why he was allowed to operate for so long without consequence. Why was Maxwell the only one held accountable when so many others played a role? Why does the government hide this information from the public? This secrecy is not protection, it's complicity. And as long as the truth is buried, justice will remain out of reach. That is why this bill matters. Passing it will, bless you, ensure that the suffering of survivors is not in vain. Passing it will bring accountability, transparency, and prevention. It will help protect the next generation of predators who seek to place themselves above the law through wealth, influence, and connections. This is not just my story. It is about every survivor who carries invisible scars. It's about the weight we live with daily. It is about the families broken and the futures stolen. So I ask you, President Trump and members of Congress, why do we continue to cover up sexual abuse and assault? Who are we covering for? Let the public know the truth. We cannot heal without justice. We cannot protect the future if we refuse to confront the past. Thank you.
Let's just give a round of applause for all the courage and strength that the providers have. We now will take a few questions. You can always get Congressman Massey, me, or Congressman Green in the hallways and other places. If you have questions for us, that's fine. But I wanted to see first if you have questions for the lawyers and the survivors, and Brad will facilitate any of the questions to the survivors. Yes.
This question would be for the survivors. The president has said that this Epstein issue is a hoax, is the word that he used. Can we get more reactions to what you think when you hear him say that?
I'll answer that. Mr. President Donald J. Trump, I am a registered Republican, not that that matters because this is not political. However, I cordially invite you to the Capitol to meet me in person so you can understand this is not a hoax. We are real human beings. This is real trauma.
What does it feel like emotionally to hear that?
It's being gutted from the inside out. Not that I would know what that feels like, but I imagine it's the anxiety buildup with the depression and the survival mode, and then your nervous system goes limp and ironically is shot. And it feels like you just want to explode inside because nobody, again, is understanding that this is a real situation. These women are real. We're here in person. To say that it's a hoax is just not... Please humanize us. I would like Donald J. Trump and every person in America and around the world to humanize us, to see us for who we are and to hear us for what we have to say. There is no hoax. The abuse was real. Now, What goes on behind closed doors, I can't speak for that. What happens around the world politically, I cannot speak for that. But I am here with all of these women, including our attorneys, and I would be more than happy to meet with him, and I will meet him halfway.
Mr. Edwards, if any of the victims could respond to the news from recently about Ghislaine Maxwell being transferred to a lower security prison in the aftermath of being a top
About her transfer to I'm happy to speak to that. We were horrified to learn that she had been transferred to a prison camp. She is someone who was found guilty by a jury of sex trafficking. She not only, we often hear that she procured women for Jeffrey, which I think is a very sort of polite and minimizing term. She also participated in the abuse. She was a major architect of the scheme. And the fact that she's painted herself as a victim, I think is disgusting. And it was horrifying, I think, to us that we were not told about her prison transfer. We found out about it in the news. 1 minute, I think Anushka maybe.
So, Anushka DiGiorgio, I testified alongside Annie at the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell. I was horrified when I found out not only had Ghislaine Maxwell been transferred to what's called a low security. It really is like a holiday camp. And then afterwards, I got a notification from the Department of Justice telling me that this was going to happen when it had already happened. This woman abused children. I was abused by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell for over 10 years. Ghislaine Maxwell was present for some of my abuse at the hand of Jeffrey Epstein. She was present, she was complicit, she was enabling, and it is appalling and disgusting. And it's one of my worst nightmares that she not only be transferred, but the possibility that's very much going around that she might be pardoned. This is not okay, guys. This is not okay.
And I just want to add that I think it sends a very dangerous message to our country, to the young people in our country, that someone that we all know is aware of these crimes could be given a pass.
And just for the last survivor who just spoke, the last survivor who just spoke, she said that Epstein would brag about her relationship with Donald Trump. Could you please elaborate about that?
Shantae.
Take the microphone.
Get close.
Yeah, I didn't say that. My first trip to the Palm Beach residence, I drove there from the airport with Ghislaine Maxwell, and Jeffrey and Ghislaine were always very boastful about their friends, their famous or powerful friends, and his biggest brag forever was that he was very good friends with Donald Trump. He had an 8x10 framed picture of him on his desk with the two of them. Like, they were very close.
Go ahead. What? One second.
You said it would be confidential, but will the public, could you clarify, will the public get to see that?
So Lisa, what's your envision here?
Is it going to go to the public or just amongst the survivors?
No, we're reaching out to survivors that are scared.
So come on.
We're reaching out to survivors that are scared to come forward and that also know who they were trafficked to. So that's the list that we're compiling. We're not quite sure, how we're going to release that, or even if we're going to. The Department of Justice needs to release the list. Yeah.
For folks at home, they might be confused. Survivors know the names. You've seen these powerful people. Why can't you say the names? Could you just explain?
Why do we have to say the names when the government knows the names? And we're also scared to do so. Look what's happened to so many of the survivors that have revealed names.
Yeah, I find that
I think it's also worth saying that having represented, I think, between our firm and Boyce Schiller, hundreds of victims, and we've talked to them about the various people that they were farmed out to. So we've created somewhat of a list. Most of these individuals, the victims, are very scared to say these names because they could get sued, they're going to get attacked, and nobody protected them the first time.
And that was against one person. So is there a list? There is a list, but just to dispel kind of the common theme here, every one of these women was abused by Jeffrey Epstein, and his scheme was to personally abuse women. When they reached
they wouldn't be saying nothing but the names, right?
Section of them,
So all they could do is repeat those names in their head.
His friends. That doesn't mean all of his friends. With that said, I'm more than happy to assist in helping create the list behind the scenes and see what we do with it.
But if someone's interested,
Go ahead.
Hold on. I think if someone's interested in prosecuting, they may have something different to say about sharing a list. But they're not sharing a list for nothing to happen, and that's the experience that they've had for all of these years.
Thank you very much for telling us your story.
So much, you're excused.
Issue. Every Republican I know in Congress wants the Epstein files to be released. Every Republican in Congress I know wants the people that were trafficking women to be held accountable. Every single Republican I know wants the government officials who were involved.
That's not true, because only 3 of them voted.
Blackmail operation, if there was one, to be outed and held accountable. So we're going to try to do everything we can to get this. And I think we've demonstrated that. I'm a Republican. We subpoenaed Bill Barr. We subpoenaed Alex Acosta. We subpoenaed Pam Bondi for the Epstein documents. I don't remember when I was in the minority, a Democrat chairman subpoenaed any Democrat officials in the administration. So we've demonstrated we don't care about political party. We don't care about what your last name is. We don't care how powerful you are. We want to know the truth, and we're doing everything we can. And I hope that the Democrats will work with us in this endeavor, and not politicize it.
Thank you. I agree with you, and I was in that hearing for most.
We don't want to politicize it. We want to publicize it.
And I appreciated very much, Mr. Garcia, what you said about this being a bipartisan effort and there being so many Democrat members there. But I also agree that there hasn't been this level of interest in this issue before.
Right.
I've been here a long time.
It dates back, what we learned from today, it dates back to 96. It dates back 6 prior administrations. So there have been many other administrations that could have released it for whatever reason, hasn't. But thus far, this administration is producing documents like we've asked, and I appreciate that.
Right. So you've stated a little bit already the information you've already received from the Trump administration after the subpoena for the records was executed, and how quickly the committee started receiving the information.
Yeah, as soon as the subpoena went out, we heard from the Department of Justice. Their attorneys started communicating with our attorneys, and they started gathering the documents, and I think we got the documents in record time. I can't remember a time when we subpoenaed the Merrick Garland Department of Justice and never got anything from them. So I applaud the Pam Bondi and the Trump administration for working with the committee and for being transparent.
And as you just mentioned, there have been times when you have requested information. I can remember I'd been here 3 months and I was on the oversight committee, on the subcommittee, and we had a bureaucrat come in, and the chairman of the committee said, I've asked you for 3 years to give us information. And the person just sat there and wouldn't say a word and wouldn't respond in any way. Wouldn't you rather have a subpoena in hand above everything else, even a law passed by Congress?
Absolutely.
Which can be challenged in court immediately to get this information?
Absolutely. We're doing what that discharge petition wants done. And we're 3 steps ahead of that discharge petition. We've already deposed former Attorney General Bill Barr. We've already subpoenaed the estate, the Epstein estate, for all the documents.
And
We've already subpoenaed.
September 8th, the material would come from them?
I'm sorry?
You said the Epstein estate is going to start producing
September
material?
8th. September 8th, they're going to produce the documents from the estate. I believe September the 16th or 19th one, Alex Acosta's coming in for a deposition. And I know that during our discussion, Ms. Crockett and Raj Krishnamurti, I believe, asked questions about what we should ask Acosta. So everybody, both sides are going to get equal time to interview Acosta on all of that. And again, the administration has complied with our request, and you know, I think we're getting those documents, and as we speak, they should be being uploaded to a website right now.
And it's my understanding that the Massey document, the Massey legislation, asks only for information from the administration. Is that correct?
That's right.
It doesn't go beyond the administration.
Right, and we're going to go beyond it. We're already getting the documents from the administration, and we've moved way past, because that discharge petition was filed 6 weeks ago. We've already deposed, you know, again, the former Attorney General. We've got dates set for others to come in. We're downloading 34,000 pages of documents. We met with the victims today and got more names that they said in front of the minority, and we're going to press forward with that. So we're way ahead of this discharge petition. I don't think it's necessary at all.
And and you are going to be in a very unique position of being the arbiter of any needed redactions, keeping that decision in the hands of members of Congress, correct?
Correct. And there were, one of the victims today made it very clear she didn't want her name, you know, made public. Others said they were willing to let their names be public and were willing to testify at a public hearing. And so, you know, you have to know, we have to have grant privacy rights to the victims. Some of the victims want their names out there, and some want their names to be redacted.
And it's my understanding that was not sufficiently taken care of.
That's correct.
In the Massey legislation.
That's correct. And I also want to mention that Speaker Johnson sat through the whole meeting today with the victims, the entire 2.5 hour discussion we had, bipartisan discussion.
And what I heard from the victims was that they feel for the first time that they're being heard.
They feel that they're being heard, but they made it very clear they don't have a lot of trust in anyone affiliated with the government, because they believe that their government has let them down. And the timeline of that would date over both Republican and Democrat administrations in the past.
Correct. So let me see if I can put all this together. You believe a formalized investigation by the House is the best path forward to obtain the records and disclose them to the people.
Yes.
You've made a commitment, and our resolution makes a commitment to disclose everything that can possibly be disclosed short of violating the privacy rights of others.
Yes, ma'am, 100%.
And by having the full House vote and speak in support of this investigation, it will be helpful to you in executing the mission that you're about. Is that correct?
Absolutely. If we have to go to court for something, if it's a good bipartisan vote in the House of Representatives, that only helps.
Okay, I appreciate that very much. Mr. McGovern.
Thank you very much. First, I think I want to ask unanimous consent to assert into the record the Massey resolution, because you keep on saying that it doesn't protect the victims, but there's in yellow here, there's some pretty explicit language about protecting the identity of the victim, so I don't want there to be any confusion.
Without objection.
And, you know, and And Mr. Comer says it's unnecessary, but this bill we're doing right now is unnecessary because you're already doing something. So I can't help but feel that this is like cover. And I gotta be honest with you, we've been trying to bring, legislation to the floor. We're trying to, amend bills to try to get this administration to do what Trump said he was gonna do during the campaign, and that is release all the files. We had a recess early.
Make sure y'all subscribe to the page.
And I think, I appreciate the niceties of both of you appearing before this committee right now, but I gotta tell you, I think what's going on here today is the Republicans are terrified.
Subscribe.
And I think we all know why. And that is because the president doesn't want to release all the files. I mean, after promising that he would release them during the campaign, then he issued, that was in 2024, and then 2025, he says, it's all a big hoax. It's perpetrated by Democrats and some stupid Republicans. That's his quote verbatim. So when you say all Republicans want this stuff released, I don't think that guy does.
That's right.
And what you're telling us is you're going to release some of the files tonight. If I heard Mr. Garcia correctly, 97% of which is already out in public. So we get 3% that's new. I don't know what it's going to say. But I just don't understand what the big deal is. Why can't the administration just release the files? You can do the investigation, but just release all the files. Trump and the people he put in charge of the FBI and the DOJ promised that they would. And it's just kind of strange that they haven't done so yet. I mean, don't you think? I mean, we just want to know, what are they trying to hide? Well, why is this such a difficult thing for them to do? Before we left for recess, you guys all told us that you wanted to release the files and that a non-binding resolution authored by Mr. Norman was an important step forward to getting the Epstein files released. Why hasn't that been called up yet? Mr. Scott had the authority to do so for weeks. He could do so this week. Hasn't done it. I don't know why not. Maybe Mr. Norman can explain to us why his Epstein resolution never made it to the floor. Maybe Mr. Scott can tell us would like to share with us why he decided not to call up the rule for its consideration when it was well within his power to do so. But honestly, the answers they give really don't matter because the resolution was nothing more than a distraction to buy time. And I think we're doing the same again today. But today's resolution is even worse. At least Mr. Norman's doing a resolution at a deadline of 30 days. If I'm reading your resolution correctly, there's no deadline. It's just an open-ended distraction with the same goal. Protect the powerful, hide the files, and buy some time for people to forget. So, all that has to happen for the files to be released is one thing. The Trump administration needs to release them. That is all. And if that's too complicated for some Republicans to get their arms around, that's okay, because they're in luck. Someone has already done the work for them, because there is a bipartisan bill offered by Mr. Massey and Mr. Khanna that would force the administration to release the Epstein files while protecting the victims. And Mr. Comer, just for the record, I think you're not in support of the Massey Khanna bill, but let me ask you formally, do you support the Massey Khanna bill to release the Epstein files?
We're doing that as we speak. And you said some of the documents were going to be released. All 34,000 documents will be online, hopefully in the next 5 minutes if they're not now.
Yeah, but 97% of which we've already seen. Mr. Garcia.
Yeah, I just want to add, first, I appreciate the comments, but we should be clear. If it's true, as the chairman said, that every Republican supports disclosure around the Epstein files, then every Republican should sign the discharge petition from Congressman Khanna and Congressman Massey. There's no question. And the key difference in that petition as well is that petition ensures, one, that members of Congress are all on the record on releasing the files, and two, that petition, as you have in front of you, also ensures that the files actually go to the American public, that they're actually released to the public. I appreciate that the subpoena that we forced a vote on is going to our committee, and it's important work. Most of the documents that were sent to our committee, those initial documents were given to right-wing influencers back in February. The files and the full report according to the Attorney General, were sitting on her desk ready to be released. We know that the Attorney General herself has shared with the President directly that he is also in the files. The reason, and we don't understand why this cover-up by the President continues to not release the full files. And so the discharge petition is an important additional step forward for the Congress, the full Congress, to be on record to release the full files. And so that piece is important, and it's clear that while maybe there are some Republicans in Congress, and hopefully all, that want to see disclosure, that is not the case with the Republicans in the White House and the Department of Justice.
So 7 months to get released, 97% of which already been released. But again, Mr. Comer, I mean, do you support the Massey counter resolution, yes or no?
We're already doing it, and the discharge petition does not have the force of law. We've already subpoenaed.
You can be,
And look,
no, and I'll let you.
No, look, Mr. McGovern, it's very disappointing that you're trying to politicize this. We're trying to get answers. We're trying to do everything that's in this discharge petition, but you're trying to politicize it.
No, it's a yes or no question. It's not a trick question. I mean, do you?
We've already done what the discharge petition's asking.
Do you think the resolution saying to keep doing what you were doing is better than a bill that can become law?
The bill has no force of law. It has no force of the law. You're just trying to do a political stunt.
Everybody getting chewed out.
Well, I was asking a question, he interrupted me. It's a simple yes or no question. Simple yes or no question.
We're already doing it.
Well, that's not a yes or no, but do you think the resolution saying to keep doing what you were doing is better than a bill that can become law, which would require the release of all the files?
It doesn't have the force of the law. It's just a political stunt. It's just a political stunt, and you know.
This is a resolution. The counter is a Massey counter bill would become law. If all you Republicans want everything released, then you know you could vote for it, and then if he decides to veto it, you can override the veto.
The subpoena goes further than the discharge petition. Discharge petition is just a political stunt. Just a political stunt. And look, we have done everything bipartisan in this investigation. This is an opportunity. I think most of the Democrats on the Oversight Committee want to be bipartisan in this, Mr. McGovern.
So you're not going to answer my question, but look, we're meeting here under an emergency procedure to consider this resolution, which, if I'm reading it right, simply tells your committee to continue doing what you're doing. Do you need this resolution to continue doing what you're doing, Mr. Garcia? I mean,
we don't. The resolution as presented is not necessary. Again, we want disclosure, we want the files released, but what should happen is we should vote on the discharge petition and move it forward and then continue our work. Can I say one more thing, Mr. Ranking Member? I also want to be clear that the DOJ has not been forthcoming or presented everything that we've asked for in the subpoena. And I think it's important that even in our recent interaction with the DOJ, they're essentially now not giving us any new additional information as to when we're receiving the rest of the files. And so having Congress act and taking a vote on the full release of the files is an important additional step, which is why the discharge petition is important. And the resolution should not somehow take precedent or discourage members from somehow signing the discharge petition.
so help me understand what we're considering right now. Does this resolution grant you any new authority?
No.
I think the resolution will send a signal if we end up in court. If, as the victim stated today, there's some of the most powerful and some of the richest names in the world were involved in a cover-up, we're going to end up in court. And I think the resolution will demonstrate that Congress is working in a bipartisan manner, not trying to be partisan, to get the truth to the American people and hold people accountable.
Yeah, why don't we do both? I mean, Mr. Massey, last time I checked, is a Republican. Other Republicans will sign that. I mean, why can't we do both?
I think we can. I think.
Excuse me, Mr. McGraw, would the gentleman yield to one?
Yes.
We can. We certainly can do both. We'll pass this resolution here, and then if sufficient people sign the discharge petition, then it will come out. And it's my understanding there is a significant difference in the resolution that we have here and the Massey resolution, and that is this resolution demands disclosure, whereas the Massey resolution does not. So I think we can do both
Yeah.
and let that happen. That we want to show that we want this done in a very important way.
Well, if we can do both, then why is the Rules Committee standing in the way of allowing, I'm gonna have a vote on the Massey, counter resolution. Or why would Republicans of the Rules Committee block us from just bringing it to the floor? We could vote on both.
Because they've already started the discharge.
Well,
petition.
that doesn't,
They've already started it.
yeah, well, that's a nice, that's, whatever, that's, I don't even wanna say what I'm thinking about that answer, but, let me just ask, this is a yes or no question. Does the administration have the power to release the Epstein files with appropriate redactions to protect the victims and the survivors? Do they have the authority to do that?
I think so with the subpoena.
Yes.
Right, they do, but they're not. And Mr. Conway, this resolution that is before us right now says that you're investigating mismanagement that led to Mr. Epstein's death.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the President of the United States when Mr. Epstein died in custody?
I would assume it would have been Trump.
Yeah. And I have another, just one last question. You referred to Ghislaine Maxwell as a terrible individual. And I guess the question is, maybe you can enlighten us, what have you done to investigate why Ms. Maxwell was moved to a minimum security facility? I mean, she's a convicted child predator, sent to prison. She testifies before some people in the administration. She didn't testify. She answers questions that are put forward by somebody in this administration. She basically says the president didn't do anything wrong, and then all of a sudden is moved to a minimum security facility. Are you going to do? Have you done a hearing on that? Are you doing a hearing on that?
We've subpoenaed Ms. Maxwell. She sent a letter via her attorneys and said that she requested that we wait for the deposition until after the Supreme Court rules on her appeal. We're hoping that's this month. So as soon as the Supreme Court rules on her appeal, we'll go in and do a formal deposition. So Mr. Garcia will be there. I'll be there if he wants to be there.
I'm not.
And those questions can be asked. Those are legitimate questions.
Well, but I don't think Ms. Maxwell can answer those questions. I mean, I listened to some of her interview and it sounded like there was no cross-examination. I'm just curious why, after she said what she said, was she moved? So it's not about Ms. Maxwell. It's about somebody made the decision to move her, which I don't think was expected. Mr. Garcia?
Yeah, I mean, look, let's be really clear. First of all, Democrats on the committee, we did not support moving Ghislaine Maxwell's testimony after the Supreme Court heard her appeal. In fact, that was the decision that the majority made that we did not support. We think that Ms. Maxwell, before she was interviewed by Donald Trump's former personal lawyer, should have been in front of a bipartisan committee in a deposition. So to be clear, and I think it's safe to say that it's an outrage and shameful that Ghislaine Maxwell was moved to a facility where she's now more comfortable and has more access to folks both on the outside and her ability to move freely when she has victimized over hundreds and hundreds of women. And I'll add one more thing to that. We've written to the DOJ, the Federal Bureau of Prisons, demanding answers, yet no response from the Attorney General. We have no idea why she was moved and at whose direction was she moved to that facility.
But she was moved, and correct me if I'm wrong, by this current administration, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think
I would think that, you know, I mean, this is so outrageous that a big part of the investigation of your oversight committee should be on that as well. And I mean, I hope that you pursue that. But again, I mean, I think it is imperative that we pass the Massey kind of bill, because I think it does have the force of law, and because I don't trust this administration. to basically, I mean, something's going on here. I don't know what, but there's a reason why everybody went from we're going to release the files one day to the next day saying we're not. So in the spirit of full transparency, in the spirit of demanding that they do what they said they were going to do, I think I think we need to do more than what we're doing. Mr. Comer?
Yeah, I was just told by counsel, the documents pertaining to the move would fall under the Department of Justice subpoena. So I think that's a fair question that I'm confident if we don't ask it, Mr. Garcia will whenever we're.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this whole episode has been outrageous and it's disgusting. And it's been strange, especially the way this Congress has dealt with it up to this point. And so some of us believe we ought to, we ought to also pass the Massey kind of bill, and I hope that we will do that. And I hope my friends on the Rules Committee will allow us to offer it, because I'll bring it up as an amendment. I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. McGovern. Ms. Fishbach, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I am confused because the Oversight Committee is trying to do the investigation, trying to get the information, trying to get it released. They have been working on it most of August.
Yes.
A significant part of August. So I am confused as to why the Democrats are opposing this, because you are doing it in the way that it should be done, not some resolution added, like the Democrats attempted to in Rules Committee in the evening. But instead, this is a.
Well, we didn't hit 200. We didn't hit 200 likes, but I hope you guys have a great night. If nobody told you that they love you today, let me be the first, not the last, to tell you that I love you. We will be back at 7 o'clock in the morning, which is approximately 5 hours from now. So in 5 hours, we will be back and we will see what new information comes out, and we will keep you informed. Hopefully tomorrow we have no problem getting the likes up to build the space, build the room. Hey man, love is love. I appreciate you guys for being here. I appreciate the 176 likes that we do have. I appreciate everybody for, giving me your time, being in this space. For the people who kept it respectful in the comment section, appreciate you. And, I hope you guys have a great night or day, whatever you're starting right now. I hope it's great. I hope great things happen on purpose for you. And I'll see you in a couple hours. All right? You guys be great at what you do.